but I will have my
So,
list ready to go.
all right, we're live right now. So,
We live out
okay,
here.
I just want to say one thing before we get into the prediction. Like Roman Reigns right now, all
Mhm.
right? I just want to say this. Roman Reigns right now, as much as people want to say like, "Oh my god, he's the greatest thing in the world right now." He's really not the same. He's really not there's no difference from him right now to 2014, 2015 Reigns when he was a babyface because he's still getting shoved down our throats. And if there was any more proof, fucking previous episode of SmackDown, him taking the crown from Xavier Woods. Like, come on. Like, seriously. He's being shoved down our throats, but in a way that it's pleasable for us to be like, oh, you know what? He's still a good heel. Well, dude, he was a good face back then, but he still was shoved down our throats. Right now, it's shoved down our throats, but we're happy because he's a heel now. What's the difference? He's still
Mhm.
Superman Reigns, but right now he's Bizarro Superman Reigns. That's all.
Nor like Cyborg Superman.
Cyborg Superman,
Yeah.
Eradicator.
Yeah. Bizarro's dumb, but like Cyborg Superman smart. That's the difference.
There you go. So, getting to the predictions of AEW, let's talk about first thing before we get into AEW.
It's a good
MV
show.
Storm Wrestling, the beautiful man that I see today, Malcolm. You are a wonderful species of man. Um, so, what do you think about, before we get into this, what do you think about the women's division in AEW? Because Tony Khan was in a lot of hot water because of the women's division. Because, like, he was in an interview where he was talking about the women's division, and they were like, hey, should we have like an all women's pay per view or all women's show? And Tony Khan was like, "Hey, you know what? We're working really hard with the women's division, and we've gotten so far. So, I want your 2 cents on that."
Well, first off, you're beautiful too, Eddie. Come on, give it up for the variety vendor people. Come on, come on, come on. We are all beautiful here. But like, speaking of pretty, um, the women of AEW, they are lovely, lovely people inside out. I watch a lot of their vlogs. Like they're so wonderful, nice people living their best lives. But as far as the women's division is going now in AEW, it's always been the weakest link in AEW. That's not like breaking news, but as it is now, it's starting to gain traction, but they're missing one tiny thing. They're they're missing a really great feud. Like right in front of, oh my god. I finally get to talk about this. Serena Deeb and Hikaru Shida-san. Like these guys made me cry. Like there was a tear in my eye. I was like, oh my god, like Serena, you have to beat Shida. Like, oh wait, oh my god. Like Eddie kind of bounced out for a little bit. I think he might have disconnected a little bit, but I guess like, oh no, he's back. He's back. Yeah.
I'm here. I'm here. It's your floor, man. It's your floor. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. Like, were your connections? I was like, oh, okay. Okay. I think he's giving me my platform to speak. Okay. Thank you, sir. But yeah, Hikaru Shida and Serena Deeb had an eye-watering match. Literally, tear in my eye. Beautiful stuff. I had never reacted like that ever in a women's match, or I guess no, ever in a women's match. The closest was probably like, I don't know, like maybe one of the matches in like old good NXT, like something involving the Four Horsewomen. But like that match was literally the best women's match I've seen in a long time. I'm sorry. Like that is like it's on my list. Like there's a lot of matches on AEW that could be match of the year candidates. Just watch Dynamite. You'll find a match of the year. But like that match, that feud, I wanted Serena to win because oh my god, she's so great. She loves being a heel. But like even so, Sheeta got her 50th win. It was beautiful. it was wonderful. Serena got to beat the crap out of her after the match, and I'm like, yes, yes, yes. The feud continues. We get better matches. The Woman of 1,000 Holds versus the one of the greatest Joshi wrestlers I've ever seen, Hikaru Shida. Oh my god, get on board, people. Like, this match has so much potential. When you think of like top women's feuds, like, this could be the start of something beautiful, something wonderful, but it's not on the cards. It's not on Full Gear. I mean, like, I think they're waiting. They're making a weird decision in waiting until the TBS title tournament match between Nyla Rose and Hikaru Shida. I think it's Nyla Rose and Hikaru Shida. I might have to check later on, but whatever match Hikaru Shida is in.
It is Nyla Rose and Hikaru Shida.
Okay, so third time's the charm, I guess. Yeah, their third match together. So they're gonna like bring down the house. I'm sure they've always had great chemistry together. Nyla Rose is like Nia Jax, but better, and she doesn't hurt people too much. Even though there was that one time with Britt Baker, but she was able to turn the injury into a really great angle. The role model, that was great. But back to Shida, I want her to lose. Simple. Nyla Rose wins via Serena Deeb's shenanigans, causing Shida to once again be attacked by Deeb, and like hopefully that will lead to a program maybe during like one of the special shows that they do in December. I believe they're planning on doing like a big show in Jacksonville, for like the last show of the year, and maybe they can have their match there. Their second, I guess their no third match. Yeah, because like yeah.
Isn't like Dynamite moving to TBS like
Yes,
early
I'm very
next year?
excited. Yes.
Yeah.
It's basically
So
they're still gonna keep all the TNT like title branding stuff because they're basically owned by the same company. It's like, yeah.
yeah.
Well, I cannot wait for that move. But like, yeah, they're planning something big for that show, and like, or they can just like build a match to Revolution. I would love like a big fight feel for that, like for them. That deserves like a lot. That could get like a lot of eyes on the company. It's got my attention. This is the first proper women's feud I'm into in this entire year. Seriously, like, oh my god, it's so simple.
So
I love
like
it.
the thing with Tony Khan being in quote unquote hot water
Mm.
because of the women's division. Um, they kind of slided into the show for the buy-in. There's a match that was announced that was Hikaru Shida and Thunder Rosa going up against Jamie Hayter and Nyla Rose. That's the match that they're gonna go
Where's
for.
Steve at? Where my girl at? Where my lady at?
I think this would have been a perfect time to do like for the buy-in at the very least. You could have done Jade Cargill and Red Velvet. I think that would have been a good that
Red
would have been a good
velvet
match for the
cupcake.
buy-in. Putting matches to the side, like putting like work rate to the side. They have a good story because they've been going on for months since the Shaq match with Cody.
They did. Oh my god, I nearly forgot about that. I mean,
And
that was
so
fun. That was fun.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's a bit of there's a bit of history for that. Why didn't they just slot that in to the buy-in? Because at the very least there's a story rather than a random tag match in the buy-in. Like Hikaru Shida and Thunder Rosa, they're great. They're absolutely awesome. Going up against Jamie Hayter, who I'm not really a big fan of, and Nyla Rose. So, doing a random tag match rather than like a big match like a Red Velvet and Jamie Hayter, why not that?
I mean, like, once again, I think they're making the weird decision of waiting until like the TBS tournament picks up, but then like what happens is I still think like there's still plenty whenever Sheeta's involved. I'm always gonna be thinking like Serena Deeb is like watching and waiting the wings, just waiting to piss all over Sheeta's dreams and all her hopes. Like just like she wanted to, like, I wanted her to actually like oh my god, like every other match, like I wanted them to like prolong like Sheeta never getting that 50th win. I wanted them to at least like do that until like Revolution or Double or Nothing, and then like I guess they could do like a big blow off match with like Deeb and like Sheeta, where like Sheeta finally gets the 50th win, and it's so like, oh, it's so like I need a cigarette kind of feel, you know, what I mean? Smoking kills, don't do it, but like that's the kind of feeling, that's the kind of feeling. So it's like it's and plus like it's once again, this is money. This feud is money, and when you think about it, Serena Deeb is like the queen of women's matches this week. She has been the underrated gem of AEW or women's wrestling. You have Mercedes Martinez like killing it in like the Impact Women's like all women's show. You have Rhea Ripley. You have Asuka. She's wonderful. You have Bianca Belair. Yes, and that poorly handled WrestleMania 37 main event. I don't want to talk about that, lest the Sasha stands and the Bianca stands come from my head. I will fight every single one of y'all. I will let it go until the day I die. But and not
I
and like
I
seriously.
I love
But
like
like
I'm
yeah.
with you right there. I'm with you right there. Serena Deeb is absolutely awesome, and the match that she
Yeah.
had with Hikaru Shida
And my girl
was
Riho. Riho.
yeah. She had a great match with Riho, but
Hmm.
the match that she had with Hikaru Shida was such a great match. Like take away gimmick matches. Like let's take away gimmick matches because like the lights out match that
Hmm.
Thunder Rosa had with Britt Baker was an amazing match.
Oh, but call me crazy. I think the Deeb and Sheeta match part 2 better than that. Better than I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Hey, I could be with you right there,
Hmm.
but take away gimmick matches, take away all that. Just a simple wrestling match. As a simple wrestling match, I was never invested more in a women's wrestling match than I was with Serena Deeb and Hikaru Shida. And all it took was a couple weeks build. And
Hmm.
that was a great match. And here's the thing, as much as people would harp on the women's division AEW, they are still treated as great wrestlers.
Hmm.
And it's weird because WWE, they have a great women's roster. They have an amazing women's roster. You look at Impact. I will still say that Impact has the greatest women's roster in the world right now. But AEW gives them more opportunities
Yeah,
to
and
the
plus
more
WWE.
yeah
Yeah, and
to the point where it is taken as like like a legitimate women's roster, no
hmm.
matter how much they're lacking. Penelope Ford has really gotten up in the ranks. I
She ain't
still don't see
great,
her
but
as being a
yeah.
great wrestler.
Hmm.
Jamie
Yeah.
Hayter, I don't still see her as a great wrestler. There are many women's wrestlers in AEW that I don't see them as great women's wrestlers, but they're still being given the opportunity.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
so like I like sure you could do a pay-per-view for women in AEW, but it wouldn't really be for the women of AEW. You gotta have to bring in a lot of women from other companies, like a Riho, like women from Stardom, like women from Impact, and women from the NWA. You don't have to like it really dilutes the women that you have in AEW if you do an AEW pay per view. So they really need to get to the next level for them to really be like, okay, now we can do a women's pay per view or a women's show.
Mhm. Yeah, but they do need a lot more credible names that can actually wrestle, like to like to the
Ember
level of where like
Moon, come on in.
exactly. Yeah, but the sad thing is we have to like, we're not going to get them until like at least like February or March. So like, yeah, we'll have to be patient, little boys and girls and everything in between. But like, we need to like have like at least like I can name six. I guess I can name six like really great women's wrestlers I can see like giving us those same eye-watering matches, including Deeb and Sheeta, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. You got to say a whole thing. Let me see. I
Thunder
want to.
Rosa.
Yes, Thunder Rosa. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Jade Cargill, and Chris
Jade
Chris
Cargill.
Statlander.
Jade
No, I have
Cargill.
hopes. I have hopes. I have hopes. She's like Black
I
China.
like there are a few women that I like,
Mhm.
but they're good in small doses. You
Okay.
know, like I don't think Jade Cargill would hold a good match as much as like a Thunder Rosa or
Okay.
like a Britt Baker or like a Serena Deeb.
Yeah. And maybe
You
I'm just
know,
caught up in her aura. When I look at Jade Cargill, I'm like,
yeah,
that's we found her, guys. We found that's her. That's our poster
yeah.
girl. Yeah. Yeah.
She's the
Instantly.
freaking female Goldberg. You
Yeah,
know,
or Black China, as I said, but like
sure,
James. Yeah, but like
sure.
seriously, you look at you look. I feel like I'm Vince. I feel like I'm Vince. Like just look at her. Look at her muscles. But that shouldn't be it. That shouldn't be it. I have
Look at
high.
the
I
muscles.
like,
Look at
but I
the
have high hopes for
height.
her. She still has a lot of work to do. She has confidence. That's good. That's good. But she still has a lot to learn. I'm not a fan of her. Her smart mark manager. I
Mark
get it.
Sterling. You know,
I get it. I get it. But
yeah.
like,
But
she's just got to get better on doing this stuff on her own. I think she
yeah,
still needs work. Yeah, but I do
but
have she's my pick to win the tournament. So
hey, like I do think that putting the TBS title on somebody that wouldn't necessarily is ready to be the women's champion, just so that you can make that women's title seem like, okay, that is like the holy grail of the women's division.
Okay,
You
well,
know,
okay, that or Thunder Rosa, because like she's the better wrestler. Yeah, I feel like Jade Cargill should make
Sure,
it to the finals. If nothing, that she should make it to the finals.
sure. I get that, but at the same time, like I think the TBS title should be around the waist of somebody that is not really ready for the women's to carry the women's division, but is right there. It's kind of like if you think about like back in the '80s when you have like Mr. Perfect and Rick Rude, somebody that would carry a good match, but not really carry the entire division on their back.
Hmm.
You know, so I think like somebody, hey, like my pick would be Hikaru Shida because
She's
she
not gonna make it, bro. Not while Serena's still looking at her.
like to me, I think she's somebody that's dependable on putting great matches.
Mhm.
She's somebody that you can slot her in to have a great match and
Oh yeah.
not really depend on her on two storylines. I think storylines should be like focused more so on the women's title, on the like the main championship, while the TBS title can be like regulated to great matches, just like the TNT title
Mhm.
is to the men. You know?
Yeah. No, yeah, yeah. But and also it's why like Sheeta held the title for is still technically the longest reigning AEW champion, longer than Kenny, longer than Jericho or Moxley, just like the longest reigning like basic champion in AEW history. That's kind of like something to like pat your back like pat the back on, you know what I mean, because like Sheeta, like she carried that division for a year, over a year, and like yeah, sure, her run got stale, but like her matches were great. No one complained about the
Yeah.
matches.
And in my opinion, she's the greatest women's wrestler in the year.
Oh wow. And you know how old she is, man? You look how
she's
old she is.
yeah, but she doesn't look it.
She looks like she's been
You
doing
know?
this for like 30 years, even though she's like, yeah, she's these people are my age. What am I doing with my life?
Yeah, you look at guys like Dante Martin, and you're like, what am I doing with my
El
life?
Hijo del Ricochet. El Hijo del Ricochet,
Ah,
yes.
yeah. So okay, let's get right into the predictions.
Yes.
Um,
Good show,
okay,
ladies and
so
gentlemen.
so apparently,
Oh, you gotta like flip flop back and forth or
yeah, my finger just slipped.
it's okay.
Not the first time. So we got Hikaru Shida and Thunder Rosa going up against Jamie Hayter and Nyla Rose.
All right.
Um,
The one that I don't have a prediction for, actually.
yeah, like it sounds pretty simple, right?
Hmm. So actually, shout it out again. Nyla Rose and Jamie Hayter versus Thunder Rosa and Hikaru Shida, right?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Who really needs the win? Who needs the momentum? Because like all these girls except for Jamie Hayter and like the is Jamie Hayter in the TBS tournament?
I don't. She was in that, but I think she
She was.
lost.
Okay, yeah, she's out. Like the team with like who's like in the tournament probably needs the boost, which is Sheeta and Rosa, who are still in the tournament. Like Nyla's still in the tournament, but like, yeah, I mean, she's a big girl, she'll get over it. But like, yeah, let's give the win to like Rosa and Sheeta for the feel good like win to open up the show. Why not? Why not? Yeah, but
Yeah.
then I want my girl Serena to go out there and just like just put a hammer to her knee. Just like injure her so badly that Nyla Rose will kill her during their round. I just want that.
Yeah, she's the freaking female Malenko right there.
Oh no. Was Malenko like that? Like that? Like Ilmanizing dudes' legs and arms for no reason? Because I'm so down for that.
Absolutely.
Okay, yeah.
Okay,
I
now we
wish I
get
saw
to
that
the.
more.
I'm pretty much on the same boat as you. So let's get right into the main show.
All right. Yeah, no
Cody Rhodes.
disrespect. No disrespect. They're still great. All four of these women are great.
Uh, Jamie Hayter, not so
Except
much.
for Jamie Hayter, I guess. I like her hair. I like her hair.
Yeah.
I got nothing nice to say. I'm just like, I like your hair.
Yeah. She had a nice snow cap one time. I don't remember. But
Right? Right.
so on the main show, Cody Rhodes and Pac going up
Yes.
against Malachi Black and Andrade. I think this should have been the buy-in. I think this should have been the buy-in.
Really? You think Mr. Babyface Cody Rhodes deserves to be on the buy-in?
I really think so because if you're thinking like think about it this way. You're promoting a pay-per-view and you want to do a buy-in, a strong buy-in. Because before that, I remember when Rampage went head to head with SmackDown, kind of.
Great
And
show.
they had that amazing match between Bryan Danielson and Minoru Suzuki.
I have a list, people, of like so many great matches of the year from AEW.
Yeah,
That's on there.
and that was an amazing, amazing match. So I think this match could have been on the buy-in, and it could have like I think this kind of match is the kind of match that would promote the pay-per-view in such a way that people are going to be like, "This is such a great match. I want to watch the show."
I mean,
You
like
know?
I feel like the tag team match between them because it features like three great women's wrestlers who can carry like Miss Hater to a great match, and like they obviously like Sheeta and like Rose have great chemistry. Thunder Roses has great chemistry with everybody, so like yeah, I still think that'd be like enough. Like okay, this show, and plus like they're gonna be running like the promo
And
packages.
you got a couple of matches on the pay-per-view, so like you got a couple of tag matches on the pay-per-view. So,
Yeah.
having this kind of like would even things out and would make the show a little bit more easier to digest if this was on the buy-in, I think.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I guess I can buy that, but like, yeah, like the live show I went to for at AEW in like Orlando, like my God, I felt like I
Oh,
was
quit
like,
bragging. Quit
I'm,
bragging.
I'm,
I'm jealous of you as it is. All
I'm not,
right?
I'm not bragging, but like
Quit
during the main
flexing,
event,
Malcolm.
like during like the main event, I'm sorry, like during the main event, like Malachi Black was my boy, but I always felt like I like like Cody was like still good enough for me to cheer for him too, but like I swear everybody was chanting "fuck you, Cody." That place was so loud. I'm like, what's happening? You were cheering him during his entrance, and now you hate him? What? What? I'm like, but like,
Yeah.
yeah, Mr. Babyface is
Yeah,
not gonna be on the
but at the
fire.
same time, all hail to Fuego.
Oh, Too Fast, Too Fuego. Oh my god. Yeah. I love Son of Fuego. He's so great.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
like,
but so who do you have winning this match, this tag match? That there's not really anything on the line,
oh
but
no, not I guess bragging rights or pride or something. But like, uh, yeah. Actually, no, this one was an easy one. Black Mask and the House of Black. Seriously, like Malachi Black and Andrade El Idolo, they win.
I'm gonna put forward a bold prediction and say that Pac turns on Cody and joins the House of Black.
Dude, God, yeah. I still want Pac to be like the lonely, dirty bastard he is and should
But
be. Like the one man standing alone under a tree in his Titantron is like such a beautiful image. I think that should
but
be him.
but think about this. Think about this. You got Pac, you got Andrade, you got Malachi Black, the three guys that were the most misused in WWE.
Oh yeah, that's a
So
dream.
so like them as a team going up against Cody and the Lucha Bros, like
Revolution. The Revolution card is forming. I see you. I see. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
Let's
telling
do
you,
it. Let's
like
do
I
it.
feel like there's gonna be some sort of miscommunication between Pac and Cody
Oh
to the
yeah, because
point
Pac does
where
not like anybody. He's like, I mean, like
exactly.
he likes the Lucha Brothers, I guess, to a point. Because
Hey, he's a bastard. So
yeah, I still don't know why he's with them. I still don't know why he's with. He looks so out of place with the Lucha Bros, even though he's a flippy boy with like a
yeah,
really nice
but
body.
at the same time, it's one of those things where it's like Pac aligns himself with them because they
Mhm.
tell him like, "Hey, you join us, and we are going to fight the system together." Like
Yeah,
it's like Los Ingobernables, but
de
AEW.
AEW, Los Ingobernables de AEW. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
so like that's my prediction. I feel like Pac is going to be too much of a bastard to be trusted by Cody. And he's
Okay.
going to turn on Cody and he's going to align himself with Malachi Black and Andrade El Idolo. So
Yeah. Yeah.
uh,
And
that
then
that's
I guess yeah. I guess like the Lucha Bros will come out like maybe Dynamite or maybe no, they still have their match to focus on. So like yeah, they're probably gonna be like, no, Pac, what you doing? But like yeah, Malachi needs his heat back. Andrade is still a growing star. He's probably gonna be like world champion maybe in a few years or so. But like yeah, he still needs he's Black Mask. He needs a group. He needs like a fully formed like mega faction. And plus, the House of
yeah.
Black is going to happen. Like like Malachi said, like he wants he already has like plans for like members to join. He just hasn't told anybody, not even Tony yet. So like yeah,
And really like as much as like the Malachi Black and Cody storyline has been good, I don't think anybody's like clamoring to see more matches between them. So
yeah. The match I saw was just so good. But like no, Black needs his heat back in this tag match, and he doesn't even have to
yeah,
pin Cody. Maybe he should pin Cody. He should.
so
He should.
doing a mixture of like the Lucha Bros, adding that in there with Cody, going up against Malachi Black and
Yeah.
Pac and Andrade, I think you can have a much better mixture where you
Oh
can
yeah.
have like, Alice, you can have Malachi Black against Pentagon, or Malachi Black against Phoenix. You know,
Yeah.
like those are. I think those would be like amazing matches right there. So
What a year, huh? What a
absolutely, you
company.
know, that's the thing. That's the thing about AEW, and you'll like for everybody that's watching right now. I think there's a pattern to see here is that AEW's roster is so packed that you can mix and match anybody, and you're going to be like, "Oh, that's great. Oh, that's great." You know,
Mhm.
it's one of those things where it's actually living up to its name, where it's like it's all elite. You know, where I'm not
Yeah.
getting any entertainment in WWE. So
Nah, we're here to talk about a good show. Come on.
you're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. Okay, so we get to Christian Cage and Jurassic Express going up against the Super Click with Adam
Thank you.
Cole and the Bucks. Who do you
Yeah.
got?
For some reason, commentary won't call them the Super Click, but even though they're listed as the Super Click, but okay. Super Click. Yes, that's like so easy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Like the CW's Jurassic Park is great. They're so great. Like Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, and Little Marco Stunt, they're wonderful. And then like Christian Cage makes like a wonderful legend set. But like, yeah, it's the Super Click, and yeah, they're gonna use so many like silly little shenanigans to win. And plus, like, it's Adam Cole's first ever pay-per-view match for AEW. Get excited! Yeah,
Jungle
get
Boy
Adam
is
Cole.
growing a beard. He's Jungle Man. You
Jungle
know?
Man. Yeah, or maybe just Tarzan. He might just give up and just call himself Tarzan.
Yeah, from Mowgli to Tarzan, of course. So like for me, I think this is a perfect time to give the Jurassic Express like a win because they haven't had a strong win in a long time. Like they
Ruh-roh.
need like I really think that they need a win because I feel like look at Super Click, they'll be over no matter what. Like if they win, what do they gain from it? Like they don't gain anything. Oh, we beat the Jurassic Express. They've beaten them before. But if they lose and Jungle Boy gets the win and pinning Adam Cole, the guy that beat him multiple weeks ago, it's like, oh, Jungle Boy has been elevated now. So for me, I would say like Jurassic Express and Christian.
No, I have no argument. that's
Yeah.
that's a solid. I could have sworn that the Jurassic Express beat like the Super Click, but no, maybe they didn't. Maybe they did.
It was the Dark
Okay.
Order. It was the Dark Order that beat the
Okay,
Super
I'm
Click.
sorry. They're so
Yeah.
wonderful and funny. I guess they blend together. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Okay. So but I'm still like it's still Adam Cole's like AEW pay-per-view debut. But like like I don't mind if he takes the loss, but I
He'll
still
rebound. He'll rebound.
yeah
He's too good to not rebound. He's way too good.
yeah. But I'm still sticking with the Super Click. But you're sticking with Jurassic Express.
Yeah, I'm going with Jurassic Express and Christian. I think Jungle Boy is going to get the win for his team. He's going to pin Adam Cole, and it's going to be like a big win for him, and he's going to be elevated, going forward.
All right. What? But
All
Bobby
right.
Fish is still there, man. Bobby Fish.
One of the big matches on Full Gear, like going into it, I didn't think that it would be super into it.
Mhm.
But once it was announced, I was like, all right. But then I saw the promo. I'm all in. No pun intended. Eddie
That's all right.
Kingston, Eddie Kingston, and CM Punk. What a great batch of promos that they've been having.
They've
Like
had one
their
promo,
their
man.
their promo on Rampage last week was so good. Like I heard that there was like a little bit of resemblance to when CM Punk was feuding with John Cena in 2011.
Cool.
But I think it more as of like CM Punk and The Rock from 2013. It was more of that. Like to me, like that's how I felt. Because
Yeah.
like Punk came back, and it's like, and he's like, the guy that comes in, and he's like bigger than ever. He's bigger than the company and everything. And Eddie Kingston is like the guy that's in the company that's trying to make something out of himself. So it kind of reminds me a lot of, like, there's a lot of similarities between that and CM Punk and The Rock, more so than CM Punk and John Cena. So
You know what's worse than calling somebody a bitch, which used to be the most devastating insult in professional wrestling? A
it still
bum.
is in WWE.
Yeah, you're a bum, Eddie. A bum. With that word. That word. I'm a bum. I'm a bum. That's still like
He sounded like Mickey from Rocky, where he's like, "You're a bum.
Yeah, but
you're gonna swallow fireworks and blow out lightning." Like,
yeah, but like that entire, I've been looking forward to this. Like, there's so many other like money feuds that CM Punk has yet to have yet, and everybody's playing, oh, Punk is not having a great run because he's wrestling all these nobodies. Shut up. Leave him be. He's wrestling. He's rusty. He's wrestling some of the best and brightest this company has to offer. Darby Allin, Powerhouse Hobbs, Mr. Daniel Garcia. I know I'm forgetting. Oh yeah, Matt Sydal, the homie Matt Sydal. Yeah, and now, like, oh my god, the money feud number one, Eddie Kingston, Battle of the Promos. It's great, just like we
and,
expected it.
and you
There's
know
so much
what?
more.
I'll say this. I'll say this right now. For the sake of this video,
Mm-hmm.
CM Punk right now is the best he's looked since his Ring of Honor days.
Really?
Because, like, honestly, okay, during his title run, when he had the championship for 434 days, I
Mm-hmm.
never saw him as being like that top guy.
I
And maybe it
wonder
was the
fucking
booking.
why.
Yeah, like maybe it was the booking, maybe it was like the matches or whatever. But like right now, he knows what he's doing. Like, he knows what to do, he knows what not to do. He's so freaking smart. Like, the things that he's doing, like, I'm appreciating so much more of his promos, of his matches, the way that he shines his opponents. He makes them look better than when they got in the first time. Like, Daniel Garcia can lose 100 matches against CM Punk, and it will look better every single time he wrestles Punk.
Oh
Like,
yeah, look where
that's
Darby
how
Allin
good
is.
Punk is.
Yeah, look where Darby Allin and Mr. Willpower are now. They're doing great.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Will Hobbs looked so good against Punk, more so than beating a bunch of jobbers. So,
mhm.
like, I really think, like, Punk right now, he's so good, not just for himself, but for AEW.
Yeah, seriously, man.
So
And yeah, like like if I can say something, like just like real quick, but yeah, because I think we pretty much like know who we're voting for. Got like go watch CM Punk's like Cole Cabana podcast on the Art of Wrestling from 2014, and then I want you to go watch him 5 years later at Starcast doing an interview. Like, night and day. They're two
mm,
totally different people. Like, one is full of like angst and bitterness and just he's so tired and angry, and then the other one is just he's at peace, and like he
and
still is
and
now.
watch his debut on Rampage. Like, his debut on Rampage. Like, even to this day, I watch him right now. He's so happy in the ring. Like, I've never seen him so happy in the ring.
Yeah.
And it's like infectious, because I'm so in love with wrestling. When I see somebody that's so happy in wrestling, in a wrestling ring, a wrestler that's happy in a wrestling ring makes a wrestling fan like me so happy watching that wrestler in that wrestling ring on a wrestling show. So, yeah.
Yeah,
um
but CM Punk, obviously CM
yeah,
Punk.
Yeah, it's easy to go with CM Punk. Like for me, like I can say like, yeah, sure, CM Punk. CM Punk should go over. But what if Eddie Kingston goes over?
I mean, everybody and their mama, including Eddie's mama, his best friend, remember, loves Eddie Kingston. No matter what he is, we just want him to be okay. Because the guy's like a walking ad for mental health, and the fact that he's still living and breathing today is something to celebrate. And like people want to see someone like him succeed too, as just as much as they do CM Punk. And like, yeah, it's really hard to choose, but like, yeah, Eddie Kingston says he doesn't care about winning or losing. In fact, I guarantee it. I will bet my entire life savings that Eddie Kingston is just they're not even gonna make it to the ring. They're not even gonna make it to the ring first, and then they're just gonna keep attacking each other like backstage, and then like I'll be like, oh shit, there's a fight going down like right across like 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 in the front row or whatever, and then they like come to the ring, and then like Aubrey Edwards and like I know the referees' names, Aubrey Edwards and like Bryce Rensburg trying to like break each other up, and then they come to blows, and then it's like a 5-10 minute match, and then like maybe it ends with like CM Punk puts him in the Anaconda Vice, and Eddie passes out again. What
Wow.
that's
I
sad.
like I predict something like that to happen where Eddie
Yeah.
Kingston passes out again. And it's one of those things where I feel like if like as I'm predicting this, and if I was a booker, it's the same thing. Like I would have CM Punk go over, of course. CM Punk goes over as a prediction, and if I was booking this, I'd be like, of course, CM Punk goes over. He's the bigger name, and of course, down the line, you want him to go up against like the AEW champion. So you got to keep the momentum, of course. But at the same time, the fan in me, like me being a fan, I would like for Eddie Kingston to get that one big win. He never got it. Like
True.
he
He's
never
kind
got it.
of
He's one of
ill.
those guys. He's one
Yeah.
of those guys that is like I would equate him to like a Rob Van Dam, where he gets that win, but never gets that big win. Where he's just like he's so good, you like him, you're behind him, but damn it, he loses in when it matters, and it's just like
Yeah.
come on, he's right there, and he's so
Even when he
good.
has like yeah, even when he had the title, he still lost. Remember, he was riding high. He had the title and he still lost.
Yeah, and it's just
how does that even happen?
like the
I'm
fan
sorry.
in me wants Eddie Kingston to win. And I don't think like CM Punk would lose any stock in losing to Eddie Kingston. I don't think he would lose anything. But like if I was a booker, if I would like I'm predicting this, I'll be like, yeah, of course, CM Punk wins. Because down the
Yeah.
road, you want to have that big match with CM Punk going for the AEW championship. You want him against whether it's Hangman Page or Kenny Omega or Bryan Danielson or MJF, like those big matches. And you can't really have that if you're going to have them lose along the way. You got to keep them strong and then let them lose when it really matters. And this is something that was built up throughout like 2 weeks. It's not enough for him to be like, oh yeah, this is the time where CM Punk loses
But it
for the
feels like
first
it's
time
been built
in
up a
AEW.
month, though. It feels like it's been built up for a month.
Oh yeah, and it goes to show how good Eddie Kingston is because he's so good. Like his promos is so good. It's like it makes you invested like better than months and months of like any other company. So yeah, but I'm still predicting CM Punk goes over, and
Yeah.
it probably is going to be like Anaconda Vice. I would like for it to be like GTS on Eddie Kingston, and he no sells it, and he's like sticking his tongue out. It's like and
No,
then
no,
he
no, no,
hits
no,
it with their
no.
GTS, and
No.
then 1, 2, 3.
No, no,
You
no.
know?
If anybody's no, we're gonna talk about what kickouts at 1 later. we'll talk about that later. But like, yeah, two people's champ.
I
These two
know
people
where you're going with
champions.
this. I
Yeah,
know where you're going with this.
yeah, but we will get
And
to that. We will
we'll,
get to that.
yeah, we'll save that to the main event.
Yes, it's time
Okay.
for the main event. Not yet. Not yet. I just like saying
Okay. All
it.
right. Gotcha. All right. Lucha Bros against FTR. Who you got?
Tenemos! Cero! Miedo! Oh, yeah, I love them. The Lucha Brothers. Fuck the fake luchadors, FTR. They stole the AAA championships. Who am I kidding? I love FTR. But yeah, the Lucha Bros. Yeah.
I am gonna, you know what? I'm gonna disagree with you. I'm gonna go with FTR.
Why?
And I know I'm in the minority of this. I'm gonna go with FTR. And there's two reasons why. The two reasons why is because first off, Lucha Bros, they're contracted to AAA. So they got a lot of stuff going on in AAA. Number two, I think that the Lucha Bros haven't done much as tag team champions. They got their big moment at All Out, and I think that's it. And putting the titles on FTR gives a chance for another team to go after them, and that is Proud and Powerful. So, Proud and Powerful, there's unfinished business with FTR, and that's a match for Revolution. So, that is my prediction. FTR wins the tag titles. And hey, they could drop the AAA tag titles to a Lucha Bros at a AAA show. So that is my prediction.
The Lucha Brothers. Fuck the revival. Fuck the revival.
Oh, do not repeat Cody Rhodes' tweet where he was like, I shouldn't have started that thing.
Nah, man. You're doing the Lord's work. Fuck the revival. Well, like, yeah, Dax and Cash, great wrestlers. They're doing great. I love the fact that they hate like flippy shit. Like, yeah, there's so many, there's just like everybody, like so many like old school wrestling fans' wet dream right now, and like, yeah, I love them too. But like, man, the Lucha Brothers have just won the championships, man. Like, give them a few months, and then they could drop them to like, maybe Proud and Powerful. Who knows? Like, I don't mind them facing each other as like face versus face. That's fine. Yeah. And plus, maybe the Lucha Brothers will be heel by then. They're great heels. You just don't see them yet. You haven't seen them yet in AEW as heels yet.
Pentagon, I think Pentagon is a great heel.
Oh,
he
yeah,
can be a great heel. But Phoenix, not so much. He's too cool. He's so freaking cool. Like, you can't hate him. You can't hate him.
I think you can find a reason. You'll come up with he'll probably kick somebody. He'll probably kick somebody down or like push a famous celebrity. He'll convince you.
Oh yeah, for a second, then he does a cool thing in the ring, and you're like, oh my god, he's the greatest thing ever. I can't hate him. I can't hate him.
No, you have
to. So cool. He's the greatest. He's the coolest dude in the world. I can't hate him.
Like, you have to do when that happens. You got when he's a heel, like when he does something flippy, like, and then like, because it's like, oh wow, that was so cool, and then you remember, wait, I hate this person.
Sure, but
yeah. But for me, Lucha Brothers, you're doing the FTR, you know. Okay.
So, Darby Allin and MJF, who you got?
I went back and forth on this one so many times.
It's so freaking hard. I know. This is actually the hardest match to predict of all the matches. This is the hardest match to predict.
But for me, MJF, man. I mean, like, you talk about the four pillars, And if you've been doing your math and you've been keeping up with AEW since I want to say 2020, yeah, like Maxwell will have defeated all three of the pillars. Basically, can't beat himself. Nudge, nudge. But like, yeah. But like, Maxwell would have beat he beat Jungle Boy at Double or Nothing 2020 in a really great match. He beat Sammy Guevara at AEW Homecoming, another match of the year candidate. Look it up if you can. It's great. And then right here at Full Gear, in front of like an actual big time crowd, he's gonna beat Darby Allin by shenanigans to protect Darby because, like, yeah, you know. He has to. But like I assume like there's going to be a lot of like, you know, like a lot out of like, you know, like sneaky weaky stuff from like MJF because that's how he is. I don't care. He's like the perfect heel. I love this guy. There's not a bad thing you can say about him except that, you know, fuck MJF. But like it doesn't matter. He's better than you.
Hey, he hates his parents. So.
This man has no chill. This is like I could never say the things I could have. This is probably why I'll never be like a heel like MJF if I ever become a wrestler, which I won't. But like, yeah, I don't think I have it in me to like, you know, come after my parents like that. I'm too snowflakey for that. I'm sorry. Not sorry.
Say what you want. Say what you want, but the dude is committed. He's committed to being a heel.
Yeah, but MJF wins. MJF wins, but Darby Allin's going to be just fine. And yourself?
You know what? I'm gonna go with Darby Allin. I think Darby Allin is gonna go over, and there's gonna be some shenanigans between MJF and Wardlow, and that's going to spin off to Wardlow and MJF later on.
Yeah, yes. The feud has been building almost as long as Hangman, Adam Page, and Kenny.
Yeah. So like I feel like it's time because Wardlow, you know, he's great, but he hasn't been doing much. Like he needs something.
I mean, he actually did you see the match he had like on Dynamite?
Dude, I've watched his match on Dynamite. I think he had a match on Dark. Like I've been like most of the time whenever like Raw is on, I'm like, I'm gonna watch Elevation. I don't care about Raw. You know,
if only it came on like
watching Elevation. Like I know at least on Elevation, I'm gonna get some good stuff. So and I love Big Show on commentary or like Paul White. You know, so like Paul White is amazing on commentary. So I'm enjoying the stuff with Wardlow, but at the same time, he needs something to sink his teeth into.
Except for Yuta. You can't beat him. You can't keep beating a poor Wheeler Yuta forever.
Yeah, so like I'm saying, like, you know, I think it's time, you know, especially with like the Pinnacle not really being a thing right now. You know, they're not really a thing. And
yes, they are.
Kind of. They were here and there, but it's been a while since they've been together. So, like,
it's
I
like
think
Wu-Tang. It's like Wu-Tang. Like it's like in a circle.
Not everybody is the Wu-Tang Clan, all right? Not everybody's the Wu-Tang Clan. So, like, I feel like it's time to do something with Wardlow and be like, all right, let's spin him off with MJF and see if he can do something. And if he gets over enough, then maybe he's like that top guy that AEW can bank on in the future.
Oh, yeah. He's the big he's the big hoss we've been waiting for too. Yeah, if Jay Cargill's like the China of like the women's division, this dude is probably like I want to say probably like I guess I don't want to say Brock Lesnar because he's not that.
He's the Batista. Batista of AEW.
Yeah. I was gonna say Rhino, but like, yeah, okay, yeah. Batista.
Yeah, he's got the expensive suits. He's got the look.
Yeah,
Batista. You know.
Yeah. He's actually a pretty good talker, even though he's the strong, silent Roman Reigns type. But like, yeah.
I love this stuff. I love the interactions that he's had with the Dark Order on BTE.
Yeah,
so like,
he's very good.
You kind of look a little bit handsome around the mouth.
everybody is just living their best life in AEW. It's so great. It's so great. You can't vlog in WWE because you get in trouble. But like,
All
yeah,
right, so Men of the Year, an American top team, going up against the Inner Circle.
fucking hell. Are they still doing this shit? Nobody likes this feud.
It's fun.
Nobody.
The promos have been good. I've really enjoyed Dan Lambert.
Of
You
course,
know,
yes, he's
yeah, it's like
beautifully.
it's been good. You know,
Like,
I think it's a good like mini feud. You know,
yes,
that can blow off on Full Gear, and then you move on from there. So
yeah,
it's
but
been good.
this is like the one I care about the least. Like, seriously, even though this is gonna be an absolute comedy, like crazy fun match, filled with so many fun spots, and it's gonna end with like like Chris Jericho like putting Dan Lambert in like the line, not the walls of Jericho, the lion tamer. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, if he can bend his leg, if he can bend that way, yeah, like your neck. If he does like that, like he's gonna be doing like I get back. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna laugh my ass off. But like, I do not
Spam
care.
Finisher City in the end with
Yeah,
Adam Lambert. I predict that.
Adam
Look,
Lambert. You say Adam Lambert?
whatever. Dan Lambert.
I love Adam Lambert. Beautiful voice, but like, yeah, like,
Yeah,
man.
I had his voice in my mind.
It's so good.
Good
It's
voice.
good, yeah. Oh my god. Oh my god. I kind of wish he was a fan of wrestling because I would love to have him like. There was this really cool like. I'd want him to play out like a really good song for a wrestler. He has such a powerful voice for that. But like, yeah, like the Inner Circle versus American Top Team, aka like the Chris Jericho like holiday tour. He has to have a match on this card because we paid.
Oh, I so badly want an AEW holiday special.
Oh yeah.
Like,
I guess because
them
of
just
like.
singing, like imagine an entire show of them singing Christmas tunes.
Yeah, but like that's more WWE TNA silliness.
Nah, they can make it their own. They can make it their own.
Okay, yeah. I guess the reason why they couldn't have one like last year because like God rest his soul, Mr. Brody Lee. That was I guess supposed to be like the Christmas special, but like yeah, maybe they can have one. Yeah, or maybe like a New Year's thingy. Yeah, that would. Oh, if they had like a New Year's party, that would be rad as hell. That would be so much fun.
Everybody singing. Oh my god,
Yeah.
like Dark Order, like them singing, and like they can have like a rap battle and with like Matt Caster, and just like it's like I don't know. Like I think it would be a lot of fun. Like, wild it out, but in AEW.
Yeah. Oh my god, but yeah, back to this like really pointless match thingy where once again, we haven't even talked about the worst part about it is that Sammy Guevara is the TNT champion, right? Like,
now that you mention it,
like this is why I wish like Sammy Guevara versus Andrade El Idolo. Like I've just made you money. I've made your money and you don't even want it. You don't even want it. You want Dan Lambert and his sweaty MMA dudes that nobody even cares about except for Jorge Masvidal or whatever his name is.
Jorge Masvidal. And I'm like, okay, yeah, former UFC champion. I don't watch UFC.
No wrestling fan watches UFC. Nobody. Like, oh my god, it's so boring. It's like just like wow, but like yeah, like Inner Circle wins. Just like move on. Dan Lambert can annoy somebody else, but like he's great.
Yeah,
he's great.
Yeah, same prediction here. I'm like Spam City on Dan Lambert, not Adam Lambert, Dan Lambert.
That poor old man. That poor Jim Cornette cosplayer. What are we gonna do without him?
Oh, I wish Jim Cornette was there. But
no, you don't. No, you don't.
A little bit. Bryan Danielson versus Miro in the finals of the Eliminator AEW World Championship Tournament.
Ah, yes. God's favorite champion versus the sensei of submissions.
Is
Man,
it like is it premature for me to say that this could be match of the night?
I'm telling you, man, Miro is severely. Everybody was severely held back. They were holding back 40% of their power in WWE, but now in AEW, it's like they're like all like Super Saiyan gods here now. And
Mhm.
like and speaking of God, please don't make fun of God when you call him God's favorite champion. That's very disrespectful to my religion, and I do not like that. But with Miro, it's wonderful. he's he's the delusional heel that I've always wanted to see from him. And but like, yeah, I want Miro to win so bad. I want him to win so bad, but it's Bryan Danielson. And like, oh no, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do, man?
There was there was a quote. There was a quote from Kenny Omega
Oh,
when he
wise
was
man.
like I'm sure that you're familiar with this when he was talking about his matches with Okada.
Oh,
And
here we go.
yeah, he said that as I recall it, he was like the problem with the Okada matches was they were too close together. Like if they were stretched out, it would have been better. Like they were great matches, you know, sure, but if they were stretched out, it would have been much better. So with the Eliminator stuff, I feel like if you're going to go with, like, for example, let's say, like, before we get into, you know, the full predictions, Bryan Danielson versus Kenny Omega 2.
Yeah.
Is that something that you would do too soon? Or would you wait for like maybe 3 months or 6 months? Or you hold that off until like maybe a big pay-per-view or when you really need it? Because that's a big match
Yeah, no, you hold that off until Revolution without the title.
without
Without
the
the
title.
title. Yes, because
Sure.
that match sells itself. Yes, and plus, like, fans are just salivating, like waterfalls at the mouth for part two,
Yeah.
because we have a draw. We have reached an impasse. We need
Yeah,
to end
that's what
this.
Kenny Omega said, where he was like, you know what, like the rematch with Okada should have been like when people really wanted it, not
Mhm.
when like, oh boom, let's have it. No, it should have been like when they really were salivating and starving for us to go up against each other, not right away, because
Mhm.
like I think the match that they had, like the Dominion match was like what 4 months away from like their first match,
Mhm.
something like that.
I
So
think so. Yeah,
well,
the first match was
yeah,
said like not Wrestle Kingdom or Sakura Genesis.
their first match was Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah, okay.
Um, yeah, so Wrestle Kingdom, and then like their second match was like a few months later.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, like he wanted, what he wanted was like a huge stretch between like the first match and the second match.
Right.
So maybe they can do that with Brian Danielson, but
Holy sh! That was
um,
actually, dude. Was that match? No, yeah, that match was actually. Yeah, if they do it from like from Grand Slam to like Revolution, that's yeah. Like when we work the math out here, November, December. Yeah, that's 4 months. That's 4 months. Good time. That's a good time to do it.
4 months, yeah, good time, and it's also you got to think about striking while the iron is hot.
Yeah,
You know,
I figure like, well, no, we haven't gotten to him yet, so I'll explain what happens to Kenny
we'll get to
after the
Kenny.
women's match. After the women's match.
Sure, we'll get to Kenny, but
Yeah,
yeah, I'm predicting Brian Danielson goes over here,
I
but
know. I know.
yeah, it's pretty predictable. You're gonna
Yeah.
go with Brian Danielson. It's like, all right, yeah, Brian Danielson goes over. But like
Yeah.
again, the fan in me, I want Miro. I
Yeah,
want
and plus,
Miro.
like for a booking standpoint, if you're if you're a new promotion and you're trying to make if you're still trying to make new stars, like this tournament made like future champions John Moxley, Kenny Omega, actually, just those two so far, and yeah, they're both champions. So I think I don't see Bryan Danielson becoming AEW World Champion anytime soon. I don't think he's interested in that. I think
I
he's genuinely interested in just having great matches and kicking people in the head forever. Like, yeah.
I what I want to happen, and like I got a feeling that this is something that could happen, and that is that Bryan Danielson could lose, and the only way that he could lose is if there's a situation where Bryan Danielson he goes for his tope, and
That's if he
then
succeeded. Okay.
yeah, like he goes for the the suicide dive, and then he hits the barricade, or like he slips, and then they play the concussion, his past concussions into the storyline, where they're like, yeah, he's had past concussions, and
Yeah.
that's playing into the storyline. And Miro, one of his finishers is a kick to the head. So like multiple kicks to the head, and Bryan Danielson is out of it. It's like Miro could go over. There is a
Yeah.
chance, and
Yeah.
plus, it could play into the main event where the winner has somebody to go up against, in the future. Because if you're going to have somebody like who we're picking
I
to
mean, like
win,
both of these guys are like final boss material, like separate. It's Sephiroth and Thanos.
yeah,
Like,
but like, but like, I'm saying this, like, if we're picking the same, like, since we're picking the same guy to go over in the main event, you gotta also establish guys for him to go up against after he wins. So there must, like, if he's gonna go over, of course,
right.
he needs enough opponents going forward, or else
Right.
what's the point, right?
So I just think, yeah, exactly, like a monster heel who, and plus it's a new star. It's a new star, but Miro is still technically like being built up as a brand new star. His win loss record, the fact that with you think it's funny without Kip Sabian, yeah, he's doing wonders. Yeah,
He lost once in a year. So
and it
if
was
he keeps
like when he lost to
going,
Sammy. Yeah, and it was the loss to
yeah,
Sammy. So like, yeah,
yeah, if he keeps going, dude. Like he's a main eventer. He's right now. He's a main eventer. So like I'm thinking about this in a way of like, who does it benefit? And honestly, it benefits Miro more. Bryan
yeah.
Danielson losing, it's not that big of a deal. He can bounce back the next night. But Miro, it's like,
The next
boom,
night.
keep going, keep going, keep going.
Yeah, Brian Danielson is like, nah, no. If he doesn't want to slow down, okay. But he's having his best. He's like at his full power here. But like, yeah, there are two more matches. So we have yes. Next up should be since I have Miro, you have Brian Danielson. We have our very strange AEW Women's World Championship match.
Britt Baker against Ty Conti.
Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. You got to say the whole thing.
DMT.
Yes.
Britt Baker, who has been like, if to me, like Hikaru Shida was the best women's wrestler, Britt Baker has been the best personality.
Character. Yes.
Character, yeah. Like, not even like, not forget about genders. I'm talking about all around.
Yeah, because if it
Because
was the
the
gender
thing about
competition.
the thing
Oh,
that I've always loved about Britt Baker, like this year especially, is that she, when you see her go out there and you're like, oh, it's the AEW champion, it's the AEW Women's Champion, it's whatever. The division is not being utilized well, blah blah blah. She comes out there, she cuts a 100%, home run promo, and you're just like, oh, this is where it's at. This is it.
Yeah, it's why
Like,
she's like
this
the
is
last
freaking
image.
it.
Yeah, she's the last image you see in the intro. The hidden
Like,
gem.
that's what I'm saying, dude. Like, Britt Baker is so freaking good. Like, I'm saying to myself, like, why didn't WWE hire her before?
Was she
Um,
No, I don't think she. I'm thinking about Chelsea Green. I think, yeah. I don't think Britt Baker was it. No, Dr. Britt Baker DMD. I'm sorry, I said it wrong.
yeah,
I don't think she was in WWE.
she's so freaking good. She's so
Yeah,
freaking good. But like her and Ty Conti, who's come a long way. She's actually Ty Conti is one of those people. It's so weird. She was in NXT for so long and never got better. Showed up in AEW and was like every match you watch her in, she's getting better and better.
yeah.
So, what does that say about the WWE Performance Center? Are they
Maybe
treating her right? Are they
maybe like
are they teaching the right freaking course? What is going on?
maybe like Finley and Sarah Del Rey are kind of like taking like off days because like they both
I don't
train like
know.
four horsewomen and like I believe like a handful of others, but like you have like Aaliyah, like Shotzi Blackheart is good. A few
It's
other
like
stamps announced,
it's
like
like Chris
yeah.
Jericho took over the class and he's like, lesson one, arm drag, arm
Uh,
drag, and that's it, and that's it for the entire year.
Definitely
Like,
handled moss covered family credenza. That's the most important one.
the masculine blue.
Oh my god, I would actually sit in for that class, but like no, I'm just like it's so weird because like yeah, I always saw well, she used to be known Tainara Conti, like basically as that super serious like girl in the Brazilian jiu-jitsu outfit, and now like I see her, she's like doing her little dance, having fun, like babysitting -1, and like just genuinely living her best life as a good wrestler. Like, I didn't think that was possible. Like, she's actually improving.
She
Man.
has character.
Yeah. She's like, oh my god. She's actually like legit. Why is everybody so funny? How does Tony keep hiring the funniest people in the world?
It's so weird. Why does AEW has a roster that's filled with personality?
It's almost
Like
like they don't want.
genuine personality, like people that can be themselves. What a novel concept.
Yeah, it's almost like WWE doesn't want its own wrestlers or I guess sports entertainers or independent contractors or who cares anymore to act like humans. Hmm.
Oh, no, we don't want you to act human. We want you to act like robots that looking at a screen from a 90 degrees angle. Like what?
Yeah, it's always the hard camera. It's always the hard camera. But like, yeah, I still have no idea how people watch the show casually. They had a full like sold out show like for SmackDown.
Dude, I've been trying. I've been
How?
trying. God knows. God knows. God knows. I've been trying. God knows I've been trying. I've been trying to watch Raw. I've been trying to watch SmackDown. I'm like, oh, they got fans again. It still sucks. Like,
I watched that one episode where they brought back fans for Raw and like they beat Karrion Kross in 2 minutes that same night. I was laughing, laughing, and laughing. It's the funniest shit I ever seen.
Carrying Cross to AEW confirmed.
Killer Cross to
Killer
AEW
Cross. Killer
confirmed.
Cross.
Yes.
Killer
And
Cross.
Scarlet.
Yeah.
And Scarlet. You can't forget Scarlet. If it doesn't have Scarlet, we're fucked. Remember
And
that.
freaking Lee. What the hell's going on with Keith Lee? We'll get to that. We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
But Britt Baker and Ty Conti, I'm sure you and I are in an agreement. Britt Baker, DMD,
Yeah,
is gonna go over.
they're gonna trick us. Because they're the masters of the false finish. AEW. They're gonna be like, wait, is it gonna happen? Is it gonna happen? Like, no, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD to retain
Yeah.
to prolong on like the eventual like Dr. Britt Baker, DMD and Thunder Rosa showdown. Hopefully at Double or Nothing? Because I kind of want her to
Rebel,
hold the title longer than Sheeta. I kind of want her to hold the
I
title longer
want
than Sheeta.
like honestly, like here's what I want with Britt Baker. I want Britt Baker to have like this match, and right after that, she shakes hands with Ty Conti and be like, you know what, you showed that you're so good, and then like Britt Baker slowly turns face, and then she gets into a feud with Jade Cargill.
Why would she do that? Have you seen her
Well,
boyfriend?
well,
She and them love being heels. Why would she want to be a good guy? Good guys are boring.
yeah, but like that's something down the road. That's
Yeah,
something down the
yeah.
road where she
I would
shows.
agree. Yeah.
It's kind of like I feel like it's kind of like the Undertaker in 2002, where he was a heel, but yeah, he would shake hands with Randy Orton. He would shake hands with John Cena. You put up a good fight, kid. That kind of thing.
Raise Jeff
You
Hardy's
know?
hand.
Yeah, he raised Jeff Hardy's hand, but he still was a heel. He kept on going. He was still a heel. So like you keep doing that with Britt Baker because Britt Baker is so good to the point where yeah, she's a heel, but damn it, you love her, you know. And
Yeah.
then like you do the Thunder Rosa match. Like I would save that for Revolution. Do
Yeah.
like
I
a
kind of
cage
want
match.
I kind of want. Oh, okay. Okay. Revolution cage match. That's a good
Yeah,
ring to it.
Revolution cage match. Let them go all out, like like freaking Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa in a cage match.
Exploding death cage match. No,
Oh, but don't
once
let
was
Vince
enough.
Russo freaking book that. No.
Yeah, but like once was enough. Once was enough. It's okay.
Yeah, let them have their match at Revolution. Like it's a cage match. Britt Baker goes over, and then from there, she earned like everybody's respect, and she's a baby face. And then Jade Cargill is like the top heel, the monster heel that goes up against Britt Baker. And then like you have Britt Baker as your top baby face
Oh,
because
I actually thought that I'd want Thunder Rosa to win. Okay, okay.
either or it really doesn't matter because like here's the thing. As much as people would like harp on the AEW women's division, they're still being booked as legitimate athletes. Like they're like, no matter how much they're lacking, as opposed to like WWE or Impact or any other company, they're still being put forth. They're still being put on a stage, and they're like, hey, here's our women's roster. They're still being given a platform. So I'm still looking for Big Swole. Where the hell is Big Swole?
Oh, thank you. I've been saying that for a while now. Where is my girl, Big Swole?
Yeah, Big Swole. I always loved Big Swole since her like Mae Young Classic. Like I was like, where the hell is Big Swole?
Oh my god, she was in there. Wow, I forgot about that. But like, yeah, I mean, like she was in fairness, but if you want to call it fair, she was in the Casino Women's Battle Royal at All Out. But like, that's it. I haven't seen. I'm missing like Big Swole, Leva Bates, Diamante. I did see Diamante on Dark when I was there live, and like, it's always great to see her. But like, her and like. I want Emi Sakura to get big with her and like little Lulu. They're so cute.
Dude, I've watched. There was a girl. There was a female wrestler on Dark. I think her name was like Tudu Lin or something like that. Dude, she's so good. She's
I've
so
never heard of
freaking
her.
good. Dude,
What's her
I
style of
saw.
wrestling?
Yeah, like her wrestling is like she's like when you watch her, it's like freaking female low key,
Okay.
like she's
Okay. You have my attention.
so
Loki used to
good.
be one of my favorites. He's kind of a jerk, but like Loki is really talented. So you're saying she's like that?
She's like that, and I watched her, and I was like, dude, she's so good. Like she does the kicks and does like all the great stuff, and I'm like, she sells well, and I'm like, the freaking put her up there. But
Okay.
you know what? I got enough. I've got enough I've got enough faith in AEW that at some point all these women that we see on Dark, because I've
Hmm.
seen like a few women that are so good, they're really freaking good,
Hmm.
that at some point that they're going to show up on Dynamite. It's a building stage, and that's the thing. Nowadays, it's like there's a lot of people that are like, we want things now, 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 and it's dude, AEW, like people tend to forget AEW is only 2 years old. They're only 2 years old, and
Two
they've done
going on
so much
three.
in 2 years.
Yeah.
They've done so much in 2 years. Look at WWE. When Raw started, 93 and 94 was garbage. It was
I mean,
garbage.
yeah.
Like it was so bad. It was so hard to watch. I went through that and I hated that.
My
But
condolences.
and that's the thing. And like with AEW, they're building. They're still building. And whenever like there's a rating that comes in and they're like, oh no, they're doing bad and shit like that, it's like, dude, it's 2021 and they're doing ratings that like WWE wishes that they can have for like NXT, or like any new show that they have, or any new
Yeah.
show in the world. So yeah.
Yeah. But I think the time for talking is over. It's
It's time
time.
for your main event.
The
Kenny
reason we are
Omega
all here.
versus Hangman Page. Your boy, Hangman Page from Virginia.
Virginia boy, right here. Hmm.
Who you
I
got,
feel
man?
so.
The floor is yours.
Let's see. Let's see. Who has been running the best long-term storytelling since, oh, I don't know, the whole Daniel Bryan authority thing. Only this time, it didn't happen by fucking accident. They didn't plan for
Uh,
Mr. Yes Movement to get over, but he did. And then he made him a bunch of money. But now this.
um, John Silver.
Okay, no, dude. Okay, no, his character arc. He does have a character arc, fair enough. But no, 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 no. The best long-term storytelling in in wrestling. Period. Come on, New Japan, you gotta step it up. Actually, well, they still got it somewhat, but like, step it up, guys. Hangman. It's gotta be him. We've waited so long. The problem with Ring of Honor, God rest their souls, or maybe they will be.
They're
They
not
will be
dead yet. Come
They will
on,
maybe.
like they
I
still
don't
have a
know
chance.
yet. I mean, like they released. I've never seen like a company release all their wrestlers. By the way, that blew my mind. But like when I watched this list called like every Ring of Honor champion ever done by Cultaholic, subscribe to them, check them out. The problem with like crowning
This is
so
gonna
many
be
like underdog. Yeah, the problem with crowning so many strong underdog champions is that like Dalton Castle or like maybe like Michael Elgin or I
Matt.
think like a couple, yeah, like a couple others, but like yeah, their problem was they waited far too long to crown them. Like what? Like what? Like if they're hot now, just put him in. The pop when Hangman came back. I knew he was coming back, but I was not ready for that pop. It's like if you don't do this right now, if you don't put the title on the Virginia boy, the former history teacher, the man with a serious drinking problem, he should probably see somebody about. Put the title on this beautiful, talented man who just wants to be a good wrestler to all these people. Do it. Just do. Just do it.
Hey,
Do it. All
if
right.
teachers were given justice, then Matt Stryker would have been a multiple-time world champion.
Oh yeah, I bet he didn't get his bachelor's degree in 2 years. I looked that up on Wikipedia. Go Hangman. Yeah, anybody who can like make a great story, make me believe, make me like sympathize with his like I think I told messaged you about this like a while ago, but like once again, like as Eddie Kingston is an advocate for mental health, and basically Hangman is just as good, that good. It's and basically his problems are not just his problems aren't over the top, like like most like all like over the top
Relatable.
WWE gimmicks were they're like real, like he drinks when he's like sad and insecure, like some like the biggest like example of like Hangman's insecurities was like when the Young Bucks wouldn't join him ringside when he needed him most, when they needed him, when like Hangman needed his friends the most, when he was facing
They
Chris
literally,
Jericho.
I remember they literally turned their backs on him.
Yeah,
Like they,
and that was before they broke up. That was
yeah.
before they broke up. Like, you don't do that to a friend. Like, have you seen, like, that broke his heart. Like that really, I'm getting emotional thinking about it, because like that's how real people act sometimes. As sad as it is, when like when someone's that insecure and you need somebody to tell you like, hey, like I'm doing this right, right? And like their responses, yeah, we got to do this thing. So can you just put this on hold now? Like, dude, like stop crying. Really, we really got to go. That's so real. These guys, these guys are great. Every single one of these dorky dads who wrote this beautiful story, they're wonderful. I love them.
And that's the thing with the Young Bucks. Like as much as like people would say like they have no respect for storytelling,
We're the tough guys.
they have no idea. Because that's the thing. A lot of people have rose tinted glasses of like oh, it was like that back in the day and stuff like that and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But like I really feel like the Young Bucks are so freaking underrated, even though that in my opinion they are the greatest tag team in the world right now. They're
Best,
still
best, the best. That's
they're
what like Ortiz says. The
they are the
best.
best right now, but they're so underrated. They have such an eye for detail. Like certain things that happen in certain matches that pay off in matches later on that you don't even notice. And like most people that are ignorant, they're like, well, that was a sucky match because they did like multiple kicks and all that stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, like, did you watch? Did you look at Matt Jackson like selling his back
I'm,
from a couple matches ago?
he's been
Like
selling that back injury for 2 years from
2 years,
BTE.
yeah. From the match that he had with Trent Beretta and Rocky Romero, where he was power bombed on an apron or like on the entrance ramp, and then 2 years later he's still selling the back,
I
and
mean, he's
it's
done
like,
now. It's done. It's
dude,
done now. But like, yeah.
it's like, dude, like don't you watch? Like what? Like you're just nitpicking for the sake of nitpicking. You don't know what's going on. You're not really watching what's going on. You're just watching it with no context, with nothing, and you're like watching it and you're like, oh, that sucked. Come on. Come
Yeah,
on.
but just I want to marry the elite. I want to marry them. I want their talent for they're the biggest wrestling fans I've ever seen, and the fact that old people want to hate on them, you know who you are. But like, yeah, they're like the smartest dudes in wrestling, because like, look at what they've done. Yeah, Cody, Kenny, Matt, Nick, Adam, all these young guys, these guys in these like this little like basically it's basically DX NWO ripoff faction, the Bullet Club, springing out off their own, making the
Let's think
elite.
about this.
Bam.
Let's think about this for a second before we go forward.
Mhm.
DX had their own pay-per-view.
Yeah.
NWO had their own pay-per-view. And both times they didn't do well.
Well, third time's the charm, right?
Yeah, they didn't do well. NWO had their own pay-per-view. Bullet Club, right now, as we know them, being Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, they have their own company, and
I
it's
think it
doing
worked out.
and it's rivaling WWE.
I think you
So
meant to say surpassing. But yeah,
I
sure.
can't
They got
say
the Kings.
I can't say surpassing just yet.
They still got to work out the Kings.
They're in the running, but it's still it's a huge accomplishment as opposed to any other faction in wrestling history. So can we say the Elite is the greatest faction of all time?
Ooh, yeah. But then again, what if the New Day stands and the Shield stands come for us and kill us?
Bring
And
them
do this?
on. Bring them on. Bring on your stats. I want to see your stats. Up, down. What the hell's going on there? Freaking, Xavier Woods and fighting with WWE right now because of rights issues. Good luck. Like, enjoy. But AEW, man, it's doing well, and it's because of the Elite. If not for the Elite, if you take away the Elite, like seriously, would AEW even survive a year?
Yeah, I mean,
Even
if Tony Khan never came to that show in Chicago, all in match, if he never even like, if he wasn't there that night, what would have happened? Oh man, you got
that's what I'm saying, man.
You got to actually, you got to thank the real big wrestling fan here, Mr. TK.
Yeah, but like I'm with you, man. Like I'm saying, like Hangman Page, he should win. Like if I was a booker, and I like to be transparent at this moment. I did share with you like an idea of like Hangman Page, holding off, for another year, and I did say that. And I still like as a fan, I'm still with that. I'm still like, Hangman Page, you can let him go through an arc, let him, have a character change, something different. But as a booker, if I was a booker for this pay-per-view, I would have Hangman Page go over, because this is the main reason why, is because you have built up so much loyalty with your fans that if you don't do it, people are going to, there's a huge chance they will turn their back on you. And one of the biggest messages that Tony Khan puts out is that like we reward you for your patience.
Isn't it weird to actually like a company that loves you just as much? Isn't that nice?
Yeah. So like you've been patient for 2 years, and you're finally gonna get
if you count like Hangman first joining the Bullet Club, but if you don't have
sure.
to, you don't have to.
Sure. But like since AEW's inception, like it's this has been going on, like
Right.
been going on like fully. Like he could have been like the first ever AEW champion, and like at that time, honestly, when Jericho won the title, I was one of the guys that was like, Hangman Page should have won, because like at that time I was like, what a better way to establish that this is a new company. This is new, completely new. It's not like praising the old, praising the past generation. This is about the new. So Hangman Page should have won. But then I saw like what Jericho went through, and like the ratings and the buy rates, and like how invested people were into the show. I was like, you know what? All right, fine. I get it. It's a business decision. And
Yeah,
then you go to
yeah.
Moxley, and then you go to Kenny Omega. I'm like, okay. But now I think it's the perfect time to just give it to your homegrown talent and be like, all right, Hangman Page, you've like the viewers, the people that have supported the show long enough, let's give it to him because
Our
they've waited for so long.
I cannot believe I did not notice it. Our first ever homegrown success story in AEW. Our first ever homegrown AEW world champion. Yeah, because like, and plus like every reign is like a world champion. Even in like the TNT championship has felt different. You had like Chris Jericho as the guy who wore the awful suits and the awful scars and just like said just like the dumbest shit. and then like the funniest thing I think Chris Jericho ever did, like during like the Revolution match with John Moxley, he grabbed the mic and said, "And still, you're AEW World Champion, Chris Jericho," during the match. Bless him, even though I'm not a fan of his politics. But like, yeah, Jericho was a perfect heel champion. Moxley became the people's champion right when the pandemic hit. Sucks, but he still defended the title like almost every single Dynamite. It was weird. And I'd never seen like so many open challenges for a world title. And then Kenny comes along, and then the Forbidden Door, the Forbidden Door. And Hangman. Oh, what's Hangman gonna do? I mean, I have an idea, but like oh my god. Oh right, we haven't even talked about the now we have free reign to talk about the stuff we want to happen in the match. So 3 things: Hangman rides on horseback. I want him to ride on horseback tonight. That's the old special entrances, man. Special entrances. Yeah. Hangman kicks out of the one-winged angel at maybe 1 or 2. I don't know, man. I want it to happen, but then like
I see a moment where Kenny Omega hits the one-winged angel, and 1, 2, Hangman Page's leg is underneath the bottom rope, and it's like, oh, and it's like such a close 2 count.
Or like
fans don't even notice it.
Yeah. And what if they count to 3 and then like Aubrey or whoever like waves it off like, oh, put on the rope. He's like, nope, puts on the rope, puts on the rope. Even though she counted 3, she's like, nope, puts on the rope. Doesn't count.
Yeah.
Like Kenny's losing it. I could see that. I could see it. Yeah, and then like the third thing I want to happen is just like not only the Dark Order come out, I want like, if he's going to be our new people's champion, like our first homegrown success story, I want the whole roster to come out just to celebrate my boy, our Virginia boy. Hold him up on the shoulders high, holding the AEW World Title while Kenny and the Young Bucks do this. Like, this is an outrage. Like Kenny always talks like a cartoon villain. Like, this is an outrage. This can't be happening.
At the very least, I do see the show going off the air with the people that really stuck by Hangman Page. Dark Order carrying Hangman Page on their shoulders.
I want negative on the sort to be like hugging him. I just see that happening. And yeah, that was just like all the baby faces come out and celebrate along with them. Yeah, not just the Dark Order. Yeah, that would be so. Oh, I can't. Oh, it's gonna be beautiful. But I don't
all the pomp and circumstance, everything. I feel like it's gonna be a huge match. Like Full Gear, I'm looking forward to Full Gear. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm always looking forward to any AEW show. Doesn't matter which show it is. Maybe not as much as All Out. All Out, like I was really looking forward to it. It's
talk about a marquee show. I wish you could have
like
done predictions.
Like All Out is like one of the best wrestling shows I've ever seen in my life. And Full Gear has like a huge, like it has a huge bar to live up to.
I mean, it's kind of unfair. It's unfair,
Yeah,
but they gotta try.
yeah, but at the end of the day, it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. So if like you have a huge ending,
Oh,
you have a great
don't I know
feel good
that?
moment, you have a
Yeah.
great feel good moment, you have great, a couple of great matches, strong opener, strong closing. That's it, man. It's a great show.
Yeah, the
So
only yeah, you
like,
remember the only bad match was just Paul White versus Q-Tip Marsh shit, and like everybody hates QT, so fuck him up, move on. It's our toilet break
hey,
match.
I've hated QT Marshall for a long time, but
Really?
honestly, the stuff that I've been seeing of him on Dark, I've been like,
It's the
you
funniest
know
shit,
what?
man.
Like I'm watching him on Dark, and I'm like, he's kind of good.
No, he
Like,
is, but his gimmick is like nobody likes you, man. Like I always say, like, oh look, it's AEW's. It's nobody's favorite wrestler, Q-Tip Marshall.
it's freaking AEW's version of Ned Flanders. Like it's like the
Or the
worst
Job
freaking
Squad,
neighbor.
or the Job
Like,
Squad.
yeah, he's like a freaking bad neighbor that you watch over and it's like, oh, look at him. He's freaking he's washing his stupid car and he's planning his stupid planks. And it's like, but like that's the
He's
thing with
thinking,
like,
he's thinking about what he wants to have for breakfast. Maybe plain cereal, because he sucks.
or just a plain granola bar. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, but no, Aaron Solo and Nick Camarado, those are my boys. I like them.
Yeah, but so going forward, going forward from Full Gear,
Yes, that's our show.
what do you see going on with like, you know, with the winners and losers in the pay-per-view?
Oh yeah, and then we could probably get into then we could probably get on to like who might show up, because like there's rumors. Ooh no, but like yeah, like for the winners, Hangman obviously goes on to a program with me. No, well, first things first, I want Kenny to have a full blown tantrum like the next night on Dynamite. It's like, this is an outrage. This is unacceptable. That's my best Kenny Omega impression, but that's how he talks. He's such a silly man. He's such a catch too. He's so tied to wrestling too.
I don't like, there are people that don't like Kenny Omega and they don't like the fact that he's over the top. I'm like, dude, do you even watch wrestling?
Do you even
Like,
wrestling?
wrestling was built on over the top characters. Remember Hulk Hogan? Remember Macho Man Randy Savage?
He's
You
cool.
telling me those people were realistic? I'm like, come on. Kenny Omega is like the quintessential video game boss that I've been watching for so long. He's like freaking Dracula from Castlevania. Like that's him. What is a man? You know?
That's Kenny. That's legit Kenny. He just
Kenny
chooses to
Omega.
talk like this, and I'm
Exactly. That's Kenny Omega, and I love him. He's like freaking M Bison. I still remember him cutting a promo on Impact where he's reciting M Bison's monologue from Street Fighter the movie. He was like, when I showed up in your company, it was the greatest day of your life. But for me, it was only Tuesday. Like,
I fucking hate that movie, but I love that line. And he said that? Oh my god. I just remember him doing the goodbye, mwah, and good night, bang. That's all I remember from that. But I did, wow. That Impact airs on Tuesdays. It's fuck this fucking guy. This fuck, oh.
they just need, I feel like, I would watch, here's the thing, I would watch Impact right now if they had more fans, or at least more lively fans, because even like once they had more people back in, they're still freaking silent. You
Yeah,
know,
it's not.
I still remember the days when NXT used to have like, I don't know, like 150 people in the arena,
It was a
and it
better time.
sounded like freaking 5,000 people, and it was like loud and great. But like watching TNA right now, there's a huge spot that happens, and all you hear is,
Ouch. Yeah, but it's
it
it's not
hurts.
it's not
It
how it used
hurts,
to
dude. It
be.
hurts because I'm watching these guys that are putting their lives through the line. The you know, guys like Josh Alexander, Trey, and freaking Rich Swan, and Manic, all these guys, TJP, putting their lives on the
Man's
line,
still
and
there.
they're doing all these great stuff. I'm watching this, I'm like, this is so good. Why aren't people reacting? And people are just like, freaking golf clap. Like, it's just,
Oh, that's the worst. Golf is the worst, and that's the worst kind of response. I mean, sometimes they get hype whenever Tiger gets on there, but like, my God, yeah. But yeah,
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 it's so tough to watch. It's so tough to watch. I wish, like, they need to either move or have, like, bring in new people, or just like have plants in there that are just more lively, like in the old TNA days. But like watching it, and it's just like, it's just a freaking drone.
hmm
Um,
yeah,
but as for, okay,
yeah.
surprises.
Hangman still like comes out and like cuts his baby face promo. Probably, and they don't really start Dynamite with a in-ring promo, and I love them for that. They usually just say like it's less talk, more action. But
Sure.
this is probably the first. Maybe it's probably one of the only times you have like your champion open up, because this is like one of the big draws here. Like Hangman is the guy now, and he's about to like give his big victory speech about and us like a bunch of other feuds have been teased. Adam Cole, obviously. I want to save that feud for Double or Nothing, but like obviously the first feud you do is like Hangman versus Miro. Whatever that happens, either like in December, a special show then, or Revolution maybe. But like yeah, you gotta have like Hangman start a program first, because now the big like the journey's over. The journey is over, and now the real work begins. You're champion now, okay? It's just gonna get harder. So like yeah. So like new
And you know what?
stories.
Like Hangman Page and Brian Danielson, I think Brian Danielson has the ability to make Hangman Page a legit world champion.
Oh yeah,
Like
absolutely. Yeah.
like
Speaking
them
speaking
having a
speaking of that,
program,
yeah.
them having a match, I
Mhm.
think it's one of those things that's going to be like, yeah, Hangman Page absolutely deserves the spot that he's in. And he has a great match with him, and then like a string of matches going forward. But, but, I'm going to ask you this.
Mhm.
Let's say Kenny Omega retains. What scenario, what scenario would be less frustrating for you? That would be like Kenny Omega retained, but it would be like, okay, that's fine.
There is no scenario in that where I don't act like I've just come from a fucking funeral. Like I'm gonna cry. I'm legit going to legit lock myself up and like sadly do my homework and just it's gonna be sad. I'm gonna be sad. I'm gonna be a sad boy if Hangman
I,
loses.
I've
It's
got
gonna take a while.
I've got an idea, and
I
I and
have
I
no
want to
idea.
I want to
Please,
throw it. I want to throw it to your side, and you tell me what you think of this. If this is going to
please.
make you, like, forget that Hangman Page lost. So
I can't even.
like this is my idea. I took a long walk today, and I was thinking about this, and I was like, what if like this thing happened? So what if we have announced on Full Gear saying that the winner of the Eliminator tournament would get a match, like right away, would get the title match on Dynamite this coming week, like right away. And Kenny Omega retains, Brian Danielson wins the Eliminator tournament, and right away we have Brian Danielson versus Kenny Omega Part 2 on Dynamite to start off the show with no time limit. And they go and they have a 1 hour Broadway. They have a great freaking match. And as the timer is about to expire for the 1 hour mark, Bryan Danielson wins, and he wins the championship, does a huge rating, and we go off from there.
You can't trick me. You cannot convince me otherwise. There is no version of this
I'll go even further. I'll go even further. After that great match, after a huge celebration, Kenny Omega goes back to the locker room and he has a spat with Adam Cole, and he's like, Adam Cole goes, well, maybe it's time for a new era, which goes into later on, Kyle O'Reilly shows up in AEW, and we have Undisputed Era versus the Elite.
Yeah, but you don't need. I mean, like you're gonna get that, but like, can we just do Hangman wins the title? Kenny has a tantrum, loses to Bryan Danielson, and then the Super Click. Like, well, maybe just Adam Cole, not the Young Bucks. They're like joined at the head, but like yeah, Adam Cole like this. Super kicks him, and then like it's a really small room, man. And then then Bobby Fish and then Kyle O'Reilly. Kyle O'Reilly's contract expires in December, so yeah. So okay, but what would they call
it? It can lead to like a 6-man tag on Revolution, where it's like Undisputed Era and the Elite.
Yeah, unless Kenny doesn't. Do you think Kenny would? No. This only needs one match. This only needs one match. So like, yeah, I don't think like Kenny. Well, Kenny might want to. He might say like, I'm entitled to a rematch, but he never gets it.
Okay, so what do we have now? Hangman Page wins. I'm sure we're both in agreement. We're both predicting it. So what are the what do you think should be the main event for Revolution with Hangman Page?
I mean, like looking far ahead, like that's still like, still like 3 months away, technically. Yeah. So like, I want to say like, if they might do Miro pretty early, so like Hangman versus Miro at like a special anniversary show, whatever.
Winter is coming.
Yeah. Oh, do you think they might run it again? Because they already did the whole Winter is Coming and the Winter was Sting. But I mean, that's a great name. That's a great name for a show. I love that show so much. But like, yeah, if they do something like that, like they do Hangman and Miro at a show like that, or like the New Year's show, and then they do like they should definitely do like Hangman versus Adam Cole at Revolution. That would be, I would pay money to see that. Like wherever Revolution is going to be.
I want to see Hangman Page and CM Punk.
Really think that'll happen? Like I still want. I mean, like the feud going into like after MJF. After MJF.
Because like from what I like, Hangman Page wins the championship, but then he has to prove himself. And I feel like guys like Bryan Danielson and guys like Kenny Omega and guys like Miro and CM Punk can play the de facto heel, where they're like, yeah, you don't really deserve it. You're a fluke champion. And he proves himself.
Yeah, I still think Adam Cole should fight. I still think Adam Cole should at least like fight like Hangman for the title at least once, because like they've already been teasing this feud, and plus like they've sort of fought already like a few years back, but like yeah, I kind of just want to see it because like apparently if it's not on AEW, it's not canon. I'm playing. They love continuity. It's like the only thing that keeps them alive. But like yeah, like for me, just like Hangman versus Adam Cole at Revolution would be like a good way. Like just like I guess like give him main event slot to win. But I still see like Adam Cole as like a TNT champion, maybe some guy.
Even if Kyle O'Reilly shows up in AEW,
open challenge.
Like Red Dragon and Young Bucks, that's a great tag team match right there.
Bryan Danielson versus Kyle O'Reilly. I want that. I want that.
Heck, that right there. I'm telling you, dude. There's so many ways you can go about this. You can do like Bryan Danielson versus Sammy Guevara for the TNT title.
Oh God, why hasn't that happened yet? He's the TNT champion. What are you doing?
Yeah, it's so weird. It's so weird that the TNT title feels like an afterthought.
Oh, it's not an afterthought yet, but like get him away from Dan Lambert and this stupid sweaty MMA people. No one cares. No one likes America. They're getting X. If they keep staying here, they're gonna get X-Pac heat.
Yeah,
they gotta go.
Yeah, but the thing with I think the thing with American Top Team, like they like even on Impact, when they were on Impact, they were only there for like a couple of months. Like they were on there for like a couple of feuds and then they left. They weren't there for much. So I like Dan Lambert. I like the old guy that's yelling at clouds, type of thing.
Yeah, but actually they've been here for if you count like their first show, like Road Rager, like because that's where like Dan Lambert first appeared in AEW. That was in July. So yeah, they've been here for 4 months.
Yeah, but not
Goodbye.
really. Yeah, but not really prominent on the show. But
I'm done with that.
Okay, so another guy that I want to talk about on this card is Eddie Kingston. Like after he loses against CM Punk, what is there for him? What does he do?
Oh, this isn't over. This story isn't over. I guarantee you, it is not over. Eddie's a fighter. Eddie's a fighter. I still have this idea. Like they have a normal match, but where does Eddie go after once he loses a normal match? I wonder. Where did he go when he lost to Jon Moxley for the first time in a normal match?
I feel like the best thing. I feel like the best things for Eddie Kingston to do, like after this, because like I really want to see CM Punk and Hangman Page for Revolution. Dude, CM Punk can bring up Hangman Page's drinking problem.
Of course, yeah, that's easy. That's easy target.
That's right there. It's right there. Straight edge society CM Punk versus Hangman Page. That works.
Yeah. But actually, I sort of want to like sow the seeds for that rivalry. Have them if they want to do it, because like CM Punk's a nice guy, even though he like he doesn't fuck with alcohol or drinking or smoking. That's great, right? But like the thing is, I think his character wise, he's not one to outright hate Hangman just because of his drinking. You could still like somebody and still you don't have to approve of their drinking habits or whatever. But like, But
storyline wise, think about this. Storyline wise, like he can bring up Moxley, where he's like, Moxley got help when he had a drinking problem. You fell further and further down the bottle, even though knowing that you had a problem.
Yeah,
and he just keeps friggin' poking on that. But with like, I feel like with Eddie Kingston, like I love Eddie Kingston. I've loved him for so long. Dude, I've been watching Eddie Kingston since his Chikara days. I used to watch him on Chikara.
I didn't even know Eddie Kingston existed until he started popping up on AEW. And then I realized he was in Impact? I just never recognized him because his name was King.
He was in the Beatdown Clan.
I did not. I mean, I watched the Beatdown Clan, but I do not remember Eddie Kingston there.
He was so great. He was so great. I've followed him for so long, and I was like, man, Eddie Kingston's so good. Been watching him for so long, and watching him on AEW, even not knowing like his problems and the things that he went through during the pandemic, I was still like, it still brought a tear to my eye when he was signed to AEW, because I was like, no, he deserved it. He freaking deserved it. But with Eddie Kingston, I feel like having some sort of like an idea of like maybe mentoring somebody.
Oh, Okay. I mean, well, he's. I mean, like he's real. He's the realest guy in the room. Yeah.
Yeah, like
So
I do think like him mentoring a guy like let's say Brian Pillman Jr.
yeah, but he
Like
hates
him mentoring
people.
him
His
and
gimmick
him being like
isn't his gimmick that he hates people?
he hates people, sure, but I feel like maybe him seeing something in Brian Pillman Jr. where he's like, your dad went through a path that I went through, in my life, and I see where he's going with, and I don't want you to, stir to that path. So I'll be like a father figure type of thing with you because Brian Pillman Jr. is good, but he's
Oh
not
yeah,
good on the mic. He's
yeah. Oh,
not good on
actually,
the mic.
truth to that, but actually, the Varsity Blondes and Julia Hart are actually surprisingly over. If you put them on the card, like I was
They're
watching Double or
over
Nothing,
as
like
wrestlers,
yeah, I was
but
watching the
not
Double or
as
Nothing thing. Yeah, I was watching like the
yeah,
Double
yeah.
or Nothing DVD, and like people were chanting for Brian Pillman Jr. I'm like, I didn't notice this. Yeah, but Brian Pillman and
They
Chris
they,
Harrison,
they
my boys.
they're absolutely great. I love the Brian Pillman Jr. the Varsity Blondes. It's fine, but like at the same time, they're not good talkers. It's like when they're
No,
out there, you don't see them as being like, oh, okay, they're like a threat to like whoever they go up against.
they're
So
youngins. They're
like
youngins.
I think Eddie Kingston giving in that like bringing in like a bit of realism and a bit of grit to Brian Pillman Jr. and a bit of like like promo and Pravas to Brian Pillman Jr. is like, hey, this is what it's all about. And then Brian Pillman Jr. shows a different side of him. He doesn't need to talk. All he has to give, he just gives it to Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston does all the promos. Brian Pillman Jr. goes out there and he does his thing, and it's great.
We're probably gonna have to change up their look a little bit.
Yeah, freaking 80s type of, ragtag, like Warriors, like the movie The Warriors, from the 80s,
Yeah.
like that type of thing. Like I think that would work for them, because like he's got the
Maybe.
mullet. It works.
I mean, yeah, I guess like the whole like high school or college varsity look is a bit cliche, a bit played out. Plus, like you're not gonna get over as a cheerleader. Alexa Bliss didn't get over as
Yeah.
a cheerleader. She got
Yeah, no
over as
matter
a
how
heel.
flexible you are.
No, no. So, but like, so yeah. If they darkened up their look a bit, if yeah, they get better on the mic. Yeah, because like yeah, honestly, I can see like Griff and like Brian like holding the tag titles for like maybe like a short spell, but like yeah. And plus, it shows they have faith in Brian Pillman Jr. Like he had like a pretty good feud with like MJF, even though
Oh yeah.
it was so great. It's so great. Like yeah, I still think like that.
Another
What?
another person I wanted to talk about is Miro.
Ah
So we're
yes.
we're in agreement that Miro is going to lose to Brian Danielson. Where does he
No,
go
he
from
ain't.
there?
No, he ain't. I still want Miro to win.
Okay, I got an idea. Now,
Yeah.
now during his promos, he always talks about God and he talks about his God and everything.
Mhm.
So why have you abandoned me and everything? So
I'm your first
what?
second.
So
This guy.
what if the God that he is talking about is Kenny Omega,
I
the
was gonna say his
the
wife.
wrestling God? What if he's talking about the wrestling God?
So not JBL. Nah.
Well,
Nah, fuck
sure.
him. Nah, fuck him.
Yeah. Maybe even going further than that. Maybe you're going even further than that. Maybe not even Kenny Omega. Maybe he's talking about Tony Khan, where he's like, "Why have you forsaken me?" You know.
Hmm.
And that it can play into this because like for a while where Kenny Omega, I remember there was a promo that Kenny Omega cut where he's talking about him being the best bout machine, where he's like
Which he is.
the god of professional wrestling. There was one of those promos where he cut with Brian Danielson, where he's like, I'm the god of professional wrestling.
Oh.
So what if Miro is kind of talking about him, and maybe that's a feud coming off of Full Gear with Miro and Kenny Omega.
Well, they do. Actually, I remember like old reports saying like Kenny's gonna be probably a baby face afterwards, but I just don't know how exactly he's gonna. Well, I guess like when Adam Cole turns on him, maybe. But like, yeah,
The best, I feel like the best ribbon to end Full Gear would be like Kenny Omega gets on the mic, Hangman Page, I'm proud of you, gives over the title.
mother. I'm gonna be like, you motherfucker. He's like, because that's what he said to him last day. Like, I'm proud.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you or whatever. But like, yeah, I'm gonna be like, you motherfucker. You always gotta have the last word. Okay. Like, yeah, I still love him. And then like, what if like the graphic like you remember like the kind of trick that NXT used to do? Like they had that
graphic, the little graphic before the show.
And
then freaking Johnny Gargano gets turned on by Tommaso Ciampa.
Yeah. And the same thing happened like this year. Actually, yeah, this year, like St. Valentine's Day Massacre, or like NXT Takeover St. Valentine's Day Massacre, or where like Adam Cole like super kicked like Finn Balor and then Kyle O'Reilly. It was so great. That was like probably my last favorite NXT memory. Like I just didn't see that coming. Man.
NXT, what it could have been, but. Yeah. So what do you think? What do you think of Miro? Like, what do you think where he goes from Full Gear after his loss to Bryan Danielson?
He's not
goes back to the TNT title. What does he do?
Nah, I mean, he like once again, he's not going to lose. But like if he does, I still think like nothing's going to happen to him because like he's still missing a few vital ingredients to his character. Like one, his flexible, sexy, beautiful wife, who we can't name for some reason because I don't know.
Does she show up? Like after he loses, like on Dynamite, she shows up and she's like, now it's time to like focus. And he goes on a rampage, no pun intended.
Yeah, I mean, like, I want her to be like, why can't we just do the whole Rusev Lana thing from 2014, 2015? That pairing was great. Like, Lana had like a control on Rusev, and like, like CJ Perry or whatever her name can be, like, has a hold on Miro because, like, yeah, you'd worship her too. Look at her, she's nice and pretty.
Or does he become the muscle for the House of Black? Because he's another guy.
I don't think he's interested.
because Miro is another guy that was mishandled by WWE. So it's like
Lotion wanted to form a faction, don't you?
I'm just saying, like a 4-man faction: Pac, Andrade, Malachi Black, and Miro being the 4 men that were mishandled by WWE, and them being a faction: Los Ingobernables, Day Elite.
Yeah, well, the Young Bucks and them have a problem. Like, we're gonna have a problem. Like,
well, then book a blood and guts match with the Young Bucks and the Elite.
Yeah. But yeah, the House of. I still think like the House of. Yeah, they're definitely going to be called the House of Black. But like yeah, and like yeah. I think we're building up to that because like Andrade needs a group. Pac, I still think works better alone as like the lone dirty bastard who sleeps in his own wrestling gear. Seriously, what the fuck does he wear during the day? Dude, he's nasty. He's nasty. Like yeah, he's also like secretly like the best wrestler on the roster. It's truly unfair.
I feel like Pac's deodorant is like a sewer rat.
Or like if he rubs deodorant on, like bugs are gonna start crawling out of his fucking like armpits. It's fucking nasty. Just like I always felt like he just felt like out of place in a faction or with friends. Like he's one of those people who hates people.
Well, another idea I've had. Tell me if you would be okay with this.
Okay.
Is Miro and Bryan Danielson being a tag team?
I wouldn't mind that. I don't know why they would become a tag team, and plus we have a lot of others already. So
so here's my idea, and tell me if you're cool with this. So Bryan Danielson, or Miro can go over against Bryan Danielson, and then he loses his match against Hangman Page, of course, at
Right.
Winter's Coming. And then afterwards, Bryan Danielson and Miro, Bryan Danielson goes over to Miro and he's like, the problem with you is that you got anger problems. You need to focus. I was angry just like you, so you need to focus. You need to focus your anger when it's necessary. Don't go out there because it's blinding rage. You don't see when it's necessary. And I know exactly who to bring up. Dr. Shelby comes in.
You think they hire him? You think they hire him?
You can hire him. Dr. Shelby comes in and he's like, "Oh, Bryan, I'm so proud of you. You went from being my student to my greatest protege. And you have the ability to change this man from being an angry and barbaric monster to being a loving, a more appreciative competitor." And they become Yes Day.
No, like that's trademarked. Like they can't say yes.
Come on, it's a word.
Yeah,
it's a word.
Well, why can't he say it? Why can't he say it if it's just a word? He just does this. He just does this. Like he can't say it though. Like nothing can stop the crowd, but that's a wonderful.
Fine, okay, Dragon name. Day, American Day, whatever.
It's a great name. I'm sorry, it's a great name, but like, I wish like WWE weren't. I mean, like maybe Bryan shouldn't have been so like lovey-dovey with the company when he left. You should have said, "I want my yes chance." I should have been more direct.
Just go out there and do do a sign where you're like positive,
or like quiet,
positive day,
or like that's close enough.
Day.
Yeah, but yes day sounds like a really fun thing that would definitely get over with like AEW. Definitely get over. They will latch on to anything like that. They latched on the Kenny No Balls. I can't believe they got that over.
I love Dynamite. I love Rampage. But the thing that I feel like that is always missing is like these fun backstage segments in wrestling. Like that, it's missing. I feel they need more of that. I need a little bit of more variety. Their wrestling is amazing. I always watch the matches, and every week there's like 1 or 2 matches that it's freaking great. But they need more long-lasting segments where you're like, "Oh, remember when that happened?"
Yeah. I mean, like they do some like, I mean, like the most fun those fun like backstage segments like they're mixed. They have mixed receptions, but for me, like they're the ones involving like Chris Jericho in the Inner Circle, like the dinner thing where we found that like they sound like Chris Jericho and MJF really sound good together when they sing. I mean, like I knew Maxwell could sing, but like yeah, they just sound really good together. Then the Vegas party, that was fun. That was wacky and weird. Like I'd like more stories like that. That's fun.
So like if you do something like that, let's say with Miro and Bryan Danielson, where they're having like a pseudo type of like a Team Hell No segments every week, where they're going to therapy, they're doing all of that, where they're going out to parks. And
I think that's probably what BTE's for. That's probably what that's for. Yeah.
Sure, but not everybody's watching BTE.
Shame. But like yeah, if they could,
I feel like for Dynamite to really hit home, it needs more variety.
I mean, I feel like it does. Yeah. With every show, you never know what you're gonna get. You never know.
It does have variety, but mostly in the ring, where you have Orange Cassidy. You have Darby Allin, you have Eddie Kingston, you have Kenny Omega, you have the wrestling, you have the hardcore, you have the great promos, but mostly it's in the ring. It's mostly contained, but nothing like beyond that. Nothing like, backstage skits on location. I remember like even during the pandemic, they had some of the best shows with like Brody Lee, where he's like, at like an office or
Yeah,
like
like
at
all
a
that was at Daly's place. So like,
yeah,
yeah,
like
they
all
had
of that. I love that. Yeah. Hey, it's a dig at Vince McMahon. It's fun. It's entertainment. Lighten up. It's great. So if they do more stuff like that, where it's like like for example, like what I just said with like Miro and Bryan Danielson, where they're going through anger management, where they're going to parks, they're going to carnivals, they're going to see a movie, and Miro wouldn't shut up. It's like, who the hell is the hero? It's like all that kind of stuff.
They should have found time to do that with Kip Sabian and Miro when they were together. That would have been
Yeah,
fun.
but I think Bryan Danielson can really sell that. He's so good. Where
Oh
he's like,
yeah.
eating his popcorn, and he's like, dude, just calm down. It's just a movie. Yeah, but he did this, he did that. It's like, in my country, they freaking kill him.
Yeah, but just I can imagine segments like that. Yeah, but like it needs to be someone with the right story, the right comedy chops. Like I want them. You know what they need. You know what they need. I'm so cheesy. I'm so lame. I want them to have a romance story in AEW. Why not?
Romance story, love triangles. I'm cool with that. Love triangles.
You don't have to take it seriously. You don't have to. It could be
Sure.
like the closest thing we actually as a fan collective, the closest we actually got on board to that, because most of the time it's a little shit. Lana, Bobby Lashley, and Rusev fuck right off. But the Otis, Mandy Rose, and sort of Sonya Deville thing, but then Dolph Ziggler got
Otis. The thing with Otis and Mandy Rose. Yeah, it was good until the payoff. Like afterwards, it was just like, oh, he's sitting in a pool, and that's it.
Okay. I thought you meant like the actual WrestleMania match. I mean, like the match had a happy ending because like, hey, Otis got the girl. But like, no.
Yeah, it was like whatever. But if you do something, if you do like an odd couple type of thing in AEW, I think it would work. Like, let's say, for example, Luchasaurus and like, let's say Penelope Ford,
Oh my God.
and Kip Sabian is like, what are you doing with my wife? It's like, no, he cares about her. And Kip Sabian is being like a douchebag to Penelope Ford. It would kind of like mirror the 80s with George the Animal Steele, with Randy Savage and Miss Elizabeth. Where where like even Vince McMahon is in commentary. He's like, he cares about her. He cares about her.
I thought you were gonna say like the Hulk Hogan, Randy Savage, Miss Elizabeth thingy. I never knew about the whole.
We all know Hulk Hogan was a heel during that feud.
Why are you booing Randy? Why?
Because muscles. He has the bigger muscles, so therefore he's the bigger babyface.
You got lust in your eyes and your black heart. Like, yeah.
Like, sees the lust in your eyes. Like,
why are you booing? He's right.
Exactly.
If you were in a relationship, that's what you do.
But like that's the stuff that I want to see. Like, as cheesy as it is, at the end of the day, guess what? Wrestling is cheesy.
Yeah, but like if you make it fun,
the better.
Yeah, but the thing is, you just got to make it fun and not like say like, oh, this is like the thing about you. Say, I can see. Thankfully, like WWE makes so much bad angles and shit. You can actually like compare and contrast. Like, okay, this is how you do it. This is how you not do it. This is how you do it. This will get you basically banned and canceled.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Like, when you get too real, that's when you lose the plot. Because
except for the whole like Matt Hardy, Edge, and Lita thing, that was kind of fun.
Yeah, sure, yeah, okay. Now that kind of worked, because like you had like a couple of great matches and stuff like that. But like at the same time,
had one match.
They kind of had a couple. Like I remember a street fight. They had like a street fight on Raw that ended with like both of them jumping off.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. No
Yeah, but
contest, but still
like,
fun. Still fun.
yeah, but at the same time, like I'm saying, like when you make it too real and you're like, oh, we're gonna involve lawyers and all this complicated stuff and bring in people. No, 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 no. Too
Right.
much, too much. Keep it focused, keep it
Yeah.
simple, and keep it cheesy. Keep it like keep it over the top. Like it's
Yeah.
fine. Oh, they gotta settle. Oh, whoever wins this match gets to marry this woman. Okay, whatever. Like,
That's fucking
sure.
sexist, man. If I win the match, I win the woman. It's fucking
It's
gross.
wrestling. It started with that. For God's sakes, we still have flag matches to this day. Like, come on.
No, no,
I
we don't.
watched one of the worst pay-per-views ever. Freaking Battleground 2017, and it had the worst flag match ever with Rusev and John Cena. And people were cheering for the foreigner.
Really? They had another match together. They ran the feud back in 2017.
Yeah. And I reviewed it
Wow.
on my channel. Check it out. Subscribe. Dig the
Oh my god.
notification
Yeah.
icon.
Yeah, like, oh my god. Wow. Like that's how I guess that's how bad WWE is. Like you can't even remember like I remember some good stuff about 2017, but maybe all of that was just like there's so much badness.
It's a blur. It's a blur. I'm telling you, after Daniel Bryan won at WrestleMania 30, everything is a blur.
Well, except
Like,
except for actually my personal favorite WrestleMania is still WrestleMania 31. The one I thought it was going to be so bad ended up being my favorite pay-per-view of all time. It still is. I go back and watch it and I love it.
is it? But it's one of those things where, like, I feel like nowadays, whenever we watch a show and it's passable, we're like 5 stars. You know?
Right? Because like that if it's not terrible, that means it's 10 out of 10.
Hey, it's like most of the time whenever I watch Wrestle Talk, it's like the show it had good matches, 4 out of 5. You know?
I cannot stand, and I'm mad at Ollie Davis because he keeps like saying like Kenny's gonna retain, like when he does it like this, like Kenny's gonna retain and he's gonna prolong the story because that's what's
Yeah.
best for business. I want to punch his fucking face in. I'm fucking done with them. And when Hangman wins, oh my god, I'm
Dance,
gonna like.
Chopper, dance.
I wish they
Look
could
at all the sexy dancers.
The man is so great. It's so great, but like I'm mad at him for the first time in a while. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
but like again, like it's one of those things where again, like I'm gonna say this. AEW is doing great. They're doing great wrestling wise, personality wise. Everybody's doing great. The only thing that's missing is freaking storylines.
Oh yeah, what are we gonna do without this story?
Yeah.
We have a lot to
Like
look through
I
without
feel like
this.
I feel like most of the stories are coming out of promos where it's like somebody cuts a promo and it's like, okay, we got to have a match. And it's like the promos are great, Matt. Like the promos are great. Eddie
Yeah.
Kingston can cut a freaking magnificent promo to the point where I'm like, I got to watch what he does next. CM Punk can cut a great promo. Bryan Danielson, Kenny Omega, all these guys cutting great promos. But I'm more so looking forward to the match because of the people involved, not so much of the storylines, which is why I feel like the ratings are not as good as they are, is because, and I always say that, I've always said this, stars don't draw, it's the storylines that do. Like you think about all the great, moments in wrestling. If it wasn't for Austin versus McMahon, Austin wouldn't have been as over as he was. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. I keep forgetting, like, yeah, technically Vince did help, as much as I hate to admit it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if it wasn't for the storylines, people wouldn't have been as over as they were. Think of all the great Hogan storylines, and then when he didn't have storylines, he wasn't as over. Remember 2002? He won the Undisputed Championship. It was great. The ratings spiked for a bit. Then the following week, it went down.
Because oh no, he's the champion. Fuck.
Yeah, it was a nostalgic act for 1 week. And then they were like, oh shit, the house shows are going down. The ratings are going down. Let's have him lose to The Undertaker in the worst match ever with a weird-ass chokeslam. You know?
One of the worst matches ever. Okay. I kind of want to watch it.
Yeah. You don't need that. You got Botchamania for that.
Is it on Botchamania?
I think so. I'm pretty sure it's on there because it had one of the worst endings. It had like not even a choke slam. It was like
the bad choke slam. Just kind of
it was like a place you down. 1, 2, 3. You know, tuck you into bed. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. You lost the title. See you in 2 months. You know?
Thanks a lot. Thanks. You know what? I've why would you do this? Why would like the bubble's been popping. The bubble's been popping for like 20 years. It peaked at X7 and like slowly but surely, like the ratings haven't gotten better. Like seriously,
it hasn't gone. It hasn't gone better to the lack of competition.
Yeah, with no there hasn't been good competitions in 18 years.
Yeah, it's like with no Pepsi, there's no Coke.
Yeah. I don't like to choose.
Yeah, so like that's what I feel like what AEW is lacking. They need more stories. They need more long-term stories. Sure, they have stuff that is underneath that you got to really follow through BTE and stuff like that.
I mean,
but not everybody's watching BTE.
Yeah, but technically they do have a few stories like at the ready, like Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, and Thunder Rosa, the Wardlow thing, and a couple others.
Mention it, but they don't mention it constantly. Like Thunder Rosa and
Britt Baker. That's a good thing, though, right?
Yeah, but sure, but at the same time, you got to remind new viewers. Like if somebody's watching AEW for the first time and he's like, does Thunder Rosa not like Britt Baker? Why? So they need that's the whole point of commentators. They need to keep the new viewers up to date onto what's going on. And
but WWE do it too much, man.
They do it too much. AJ Styles debuted. He won the NJPW championship just like Brock Lesnar. It's like, okay.
They said that?
They said that when AJ Styles debuted. He's like, AJ Styles won the New Japan World Championship over there because like Brock Lesnar, and then he got his ass whooped.
Wait a minute. Well, that's impossible. Nothing exists out of WWE.
They've done that where they've mentioned other companies and stuff like that. You know, the famous line from Kurt Angle where it's like, "Oh, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, we don't have a place for you on Raw, but I think TNA is hiring."
I get it. Yeah.
So it's one of those things where it's like, sure, you can do that, but at the same time, it's all about the booking, and it's all about also, again, storylines. Like, sure, they haven't mentioned much between Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker, but they can mention it every once in a while, where it's like, oh, they had the match, it was great, and stuff like that. They can show like bits and pieces, more so than a Titantron of Britt Baker just bleeding.
Yeah, it's a cool image though. But I just had a thought. I don't know if this has happened yet, because my memory in 2019 of AEW is a bit spotty because they were still doing pay-per-views and stuff. Have MJF and Orange Cassidy have a feud?
They had a match, but they never had a feud per se.
Where was their match at?
It was on a Dynamite. It was on a Dynamite episode.
Okay, yeah. Maybe they should feud. He's Orange Cassidy is probably the most powerful wrestler to ever live. Basically,
I wouldn't mind, dude. I wouldn't mind an MJF and Eddie Kingston feud.
Oh my god, Oh, unless you are deaf, dumb, blind, or from the looks of it, very poor. My name is Maxwell Jacob Friedman, the fastest rising star in the history of professional wrestling. Like
Dude,
it writes itself.
they are opposites in so many ways that it works.
Oh my god, yeah. I'm surprised it hasn't happened. I mean, well, I guess I can see why it hasn't, but like that's easy. Well, I still want the big feud of 2022 to be like CM Punk versus MJF because that just writes itself. Then
CM Punk,
they can have a 3-month feud. They can have a long feud for as long as they want.
I feel like MJF is one of those guys that he can feud with anybody and make it money, and it's like to the point right now where I'm saying like MJF doesn't need a title. He doesn't need a
but
title.
he's gonna get one though.
He's probably gonna get one.
He's gonna get one. He's gonna steal Hangman's.
Sure, but at the same time, I'm like MJF really doesn't need a title around his waist to be any more over.
Yeah,
he's
got this
already
thing.
over.
He's got this thing. Right here.
Yeah. he's the equivalent. He's the equivalent of Ted DiBiase. You know, where he doesn't need a championship. That right there, the ring is like his $1 million title right there. Where it's like, you know, I'm better than you and you know it. I don't need a championship to define me.
Yeah, it's so great. Like just like have CM Punk and MJF feud for like the entire year. I don't care. Like they're just gonna have like, and plus like MJF has been building up the feuds. Like it's one of those, if you don't watch BTE, you don't get it. But like during like interviews and stuff, when people ask about CM Punk, it's like I'm not the only one who wants that match. Like a bunch of interviewers asked about like now that CM Punk's in AEW, and he says like, yeah, I don't care. Next question. Like next question. And like he's so great. He doesn't even acknowledge CM Punk.
I don't need a championship to cover my beautiful waist.
You know? But I mean, he still keeps talking about like being in the world championship spot. I remember that one time, and that one time he kept calling himself the AEW world champion because like technically Jon Moxley used the paradigm shift when he wasn't supposed to.
I would love a storyline where MJF is feuding with Wardlow, and Wardlow at that point is like AEW champion, where he got the title before him, and MJF is like, you're carrying the title. You're still carrying the MJF flag, you know, as being champion and stuff like that. And because like they mentioned it before, where Wardlow kind of owes MJF, you know.
Technically, I thought it was like MJF owns like Wardlow because he owns his contracts.
Yeah, he kind of owns him. Where it's kind of like one of those storylines where it's like, hey, if it wasn't for me, then you'd be in the slums. You know, I'm paying for your contract. I'm doing all this. So if you're champion, then technically I'm champion. So you're fighting my battles.
That's sort of like my EC3 story with the whole like EC3 and Luke Harper thingy. Yeah, that's nice. I didn't think
plug in your channel, man. Plug in your channel. Your EC3 deserved better.
I didn't think a lot of.
That's one of the videos that I always go back to. Honestly,
really,
honestly, MV. I'm telling you. Like complete transparency. Every time, whenever I'm trying to think of storylines or anything like that, I go back to EC3 deserved better. I watch that video and I'm looking at it and I'm like, yeah, this is what this is the stuff that I should be doing.
Oh my god.
It's really like one of my favorite videos to watch. Like every once in a while on YouTube, I go back to it. I'm like, EC3 deserves better. I want to watch it again.
Thanks, man. Seriously, that means
that's your magnum opus.
Actually, according to my views, my Becky Lynch my Becky Lynch's Raw title reign deserved better is technically my magnum opus because it's my most viewed video. But like, yeah. I mean, like, I look back. I mean, like, I make newer videos now, and I'm like, okay, my mic quality is better in these new ones. I feel like my storytelling is better, but like, I mean, like, I spent so much time on like EC3 because like I wanted to get it right, and like I was thinking like I was going back and forth about releasing it. Like nobody cares about EC3 nowadays, right? Dude, I do. I want. He should have been the next best thing to the Miz or like John Cena. So like, yeah, okay, I'll put it out there and see what happens. But I had no idea that I could have such an effect on you, man. Seriously, like, okay, I feel better about my
It,
work now.
it's one of those things because it's one of those things where I've always been a fan of EC3 ever since he was Derek Bateman on NXT. I was a fan of his,
Yeah,
and I always been a fan of his. I think it's kind of because he kind of looks like Andy Samberg from
yeah.
yeah, he kind of
A little
looks
bit
like him.
buffer, a buffer version of Andy Samberg. Yeah.
Yeah, he kind of looks like him. So, and he has like that dry sense of humor, and I always liked it. So I always found that an affection towards him to the point where I was like, ever since then, I was like, yeah, of course, he freaking deserves so much better because like he's nothing like anybody else, but at the same time, he fits the mold.
Oh
It's
my
it's
god,
it's
yeah.
weird. That's the kind of dichotomy that EC3 is.
The
But
more the more things change, man, the more they stay the same.
absolutely. But going back to AEW, you
Mhm.
know,
Actually, yeah, we
um,
might want to wrap up in a little bit because, like, yeah, the buy-in's gonna start in a little bit.
yeah, absolutely. I'm definitely gonna. I'm ending this right now with one more question.
Yes.
Darby Allen, what do you go from there? Like after like the MJF match, because you said that MJF is going to go over, and I would say like there's a huge possibility for MJF going over, but I think there is a chance for it to continue, like the feud to continue. Like Darby Allen could go over, and then you continue the feud, and then MJF goes over. Because the fact
Yeah.
that MJF mentioned the four pillars of AEW,
Mm.
and specifically mentioned Darby Allen, I feel like there is a chance of the feud to be prolonged rather than just be, hey, we're just going to blow it off on Full Gear.
You know what? I didn't really think about that. This does have the capacity. It could be like your Eddie Kingston feud with MJF because like once again Darby Allen doesn't really come from a lot. Like MJF like I'm a bit pissed that he called Darby a school shooter because I fucking hate when people do that. It's terrible. It really sets me off.
Yeah,
Like yeah,
I
but
agree.
yeah, but like seriously, like this does have the potential to be a pretty legendary feud between like two homegrown talent stars, and yeah, prolonging it is like probably up to like a special show and then blow off match at Revolution could be like a good a thing to go off of, like a really cool like gimmicky match for Revolution too. So like yeah. Yeah, okay, yeah, because like Arby might be a little bit lost and confused if he loses here, and yeah. I mean, I just thought the story fits for like MJF to beat the four pillars clean or whatever way you call it in an MJF match. Like a lot of his matches end a bit, but like
Yeah,
yeah,
like I said, like he can MJF can spin off to feud with Wardlow and then come
yeah,
back to Darby Allen and be like, "You're the one pillar that I never beat." And then once
okay.
he goes over Darby Allen, then he goes after the AEW champion.
Oh,
Like
you
he
know
can,
what? Yeah, would be cool if what if like MJF was in like what if they made like a TNT title tournament and like MJF and Darby Allen were like the finalist in that tournament, and
and
then they run their feud back.
or what if he's like, man, like I don't. It's too dark.
What? What's too dark? It's an idea, man. It's like
I'm
brainstorming.
I'm thinking in MJF's mindset, man. It's way too dark and it's way too much of a low blow.
I'll just edit it out. It's not like we're live or anything. Oh wait.
Uh, so
That's fine.
so I was thinking, like, what if he makes it to the finals
Mhm.
of the Owen tournament and
The Owen Hart tournament. Okay, yeah, yeah. I
yeah,
forgot they're doing that.
and there's like a slight jab to Owen Hart.
Oh yeah,
You
he's
know,
gonna do that. He's
of
going to do
course,
that.
he's going to do
Of
that, where he's
course.
like, I'm going to win this. And unlike this cup that's named after a certain person,
Mhm.
and he says something, some snarky remark. And at the end, he finally loses, of course, because that's the whole point. That's the whole point of a heel, is like he throws out, like, these dark jabs, but
Mhm.
if, like, and him calling Darby Allin like a school shooter and all of that sort of stuff, it's
Yeah,
the equivalent of Triple H and Booker T. Where
yeah.
that racist storyline, where it's like, you say that, okay, fine, say all these racist remarks, say all these crappy stuff, but at the end you get your comeuppance.
Right. But
That's because that's the whole point.
no.
It's like with Dan Lambert. He says all these crappy things, but at the end, he gets his comeuppance, he loses, and then he goes away. So
You
with
big old
MJF,
mark. I just look at
so
Dan Lambert like you big old mark.
so that's what I'm saying. Like with Darby Allin and MJF, I think he can say all these shitty things,
Yeah.
and then Darby Allin goes over, and then, like, you do like the tournament. MJF says all these shitty things, goes all the way to the finals, and then
Mhm.
he gets his comeuppance. Then he feuds with Wardlow, has his feud with him, gets his comeuppance, then goes back to Darby Allin, goes over Darby Allin, and then goes for the AEW championship. You
What about
know,
CM Punk? What about CM Punk?
CM Punk. That's what I'm saying. Why? Because all these things that I just planned out is for 6 months.
Oh, okay.
All these things that I've just planned out is just for 6 months. And during those 6 months, Hangman Page is proving himself to being a worthy champion. Because what's the point of beating a transitional champion? You don't become a bigger champion.
Oh, actually,
But
I
if
was I
you
was just gonna I was waiting for that. The whole
Yeah,
transitional
so
championship thing. Like, we don't do that here.
yeah,
We don't do that
so if
here.
you beat an established champion, that makes you even better. Like,
Mhm.
let's say, like, for example, if Moxley beat Jericho right after Jericho won the title, it doesn't do anything for him. If Kenny Omega beat Moxley right after Moxley won the title, it does nothing for him. But if Moxley proved himself throughout a year and showed that he carries the banner, and then Kenny Omega beats him, it's that much better for him. Same thing with Hangman Page, and same thing for MJF later on.
Yeah.
And
2022
again,
is gonna be so much
MJF,
fun.
another homegrown talent.
Yeah, but 2022 is going to be so much fun, man. You talk about this year being a banner year. You forget about Revolution, and like this whole year has been just a
Dude,
fucking best.
AEW got me through the pandemic.
Oh God,
Like,
yes.
good God, some of those shows were unbearable. But Dynamite, whenever I would watch Dynamite, I'd be like, I don't care if there's no people in the crowd, or there's, like,
I
a few
do.
people. Yeah,
I
like
care if
like
there's
even
people.
even if there are a few people in the crowd, it still feels like a show that's for you, for the wrestling fan.
Yeah, the
So
hardcore
when I'm
wrestling
watching
fan.
it, I'm like,
Yes.
you know what? At least they care. They care enough. And
Hmm.
there's, like, the segments, the stuff that's going on. The Jericho segment that you mentioned with MJF, which some people didn't like, but I loved, because it was over the top, and it was one of the reasons why I fell in love with wrestling in the first place,
Oh,
is the fact that it's over the top. It's theater mixed in with reality. It's like that beautiful medium between reality and theater.
I
So
love wrestling. Yeah, I love wrestling, but like I was actually thinking about the early pandemic. Like, yeah, it's gonna have to be a little bit, and then we'll have to sign off. I know, but yeah, I was thinking like how weird the pandemic started. Like we had three big babyface champions like crowned right when the pandemic was coming in, just to fuck everything up. Jon Moxley became the AEW World Champion. Tetsuya Naito finally became the IWGP World Champion after like years of fighting back against like so many obstacles. And my man Drew, who's so fucking boring now. Drew McIntyre became the WWE champion. And
you're forgetting one other guy that won the championship. Who was a babyface?
Actually, who not Tessa Blanchard. Nah. Like who else? I forgot.
He was a Universal Champion that beat Goldberg in WrestleMania.
Oh my God, Braun Strowman! Yeah, I was happy. That's a happy moment. Yeah, because like Braun Strowman won a world title.
Hey, yeah. Wow, that was good for you. You get a gold star.
Yeah. It sucks, especially it was 3 years too late, but like you did it. But like
that's it, yeah. But either way, man, I'm looking forward to Full Gear. It's gonna be a great show. I'm not gonna. It's not fair to put it in the same category as All Out, but like my expectations is it's gonna be a great show. And the other thing is, I love that AEW is doing 4 shows a year rather than 12 shows.
Back in the good old days.
Being a WWE fan as well, no matter what, I'll always be a WWE fan. We always talk about like the big four. AEW's got the big four now. They have.
I don't even want to go to WrestleMania. WrestleMania was in my backyard this year, and I didn't want to fucking go. It fucking sucked, and it did.
I'm telling you, if WrestleMania was in my backyard, I would go. But if AEW and WrestleMania was showing at the same time, I'd go to AEW.
Yeah, but if they had access, they didn't do like fan access this year. But like oh well. I would have gone to fan access rather than WrestleMania. It's a convention.
Anyways, this has been the Variety Vendor and MV Storm Wrestling. Watch his videos. Watch his Deserved Better series. EC3, still my favorite video. And the CM Punk reaction, the debut.
I do other stuff. With Becky. I've done Becky Lynch, Ricochet, and Aleister Black in the same video, and WrestleMania 37 because I still don't like how WrestleMania went in reality, and I like to make my own reality because that's better. I like making things better, and my own version.
And as much like this is the reason why I got into your channel in the first place, because there are a lot of wrestling fans that look closely, like they focus on the problem rather than trying to think about solutions. And what I love about your channel is like, hey, what if they did this? They should have, what if they did that? What if this happened instead? Mm-hmm. So yeah. I much prefer, it's a much better, this is why I always love talking to you, is because I enjoy the form of, hey, let's think of it in a positive manner. Let's think of like ways to make things better rather than like focus too much on like, oh, this sucks.
That's what the first part of the video, that's what the breakdown of the video is for. Or the first part is negativity, and then the second half is positivity where you fix it. It's a perfect balance.
Absolutely. So this has been the Variety Vendor, and this has been MV Storm Wrestling, and we're signing out.
Thanks again. Enjoy Full Gear, everybody.